Welcome, Internet, to the Play Some Video Games podcast. It's your boy, Dat Ninja Dev. Joined as always by Donnie, Eat the Hype Reese, and Delvin, Rip Roy Ayers Cox. Yeah, I saw that news not too long ago, too. That fucking sucks.
Yeah, it's been a year.
Yeah, we just losing people left and right.
Yeah.
What happens, you get old.
Yeah. It's so funny that you say that. Yeah, my best friend was like, man, because he had lost his mother-in-law, like right after I had lost my mom, and we had a friend who lost their father. He's like, man, we're at that age where we're just gonna start experiencing a lot of death.
Correct.
Yeah, and it just sucks.
Yeah.
But I don't want to talk about that.
So that came for me around like 21.
Oof.
Yeah, too young.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't want to talk about death today. I'd rather be a little more upbeat.
I've had enough roughness today.
Yeah, exactly. Delvin.
It was fucking nuts.
Tell us about it, Delvin. Since Florida man story time. Let's go.
Well, I'll start off the day with this quick antidote. So I went to work. I was going to work, and I got a phone call from, because I do property management.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a phone call from one of the properties I manage, and the guy was like, "Hey, this lady who's on Section 8, I want her to fuck out my house." So, because she hasn't paid rent 2 months, and he's living. He's like, it's the long story short. She hasn't paid rent. He's afraid that her kids are gonna just stay in there when she leaves, because she has another place already. So he essentially called the Section 8 people and told me, hey, why the fuck she hasn't turned in my keys? Then the Section 8 people called her and get the fuck out of this man's house, or we taking you off Section 8. And then that mean I had to go do an eviction today. Because I had to go there, help them get the stuff out of there, and make sure they got the fuck up the property so I can lock that shit up. And change the locks and stuff, have people change the locks and stuff like that. That's how my day started off. Then, and by the way, it's the first of the month. It's like the first week of the month. So
it's the 5th.
It's also it's like busy as shit at my job regardless. This is the time where everybody they get their checks, they start paying their rent. This is where we make the bulk of our money. So it's like, oh. So I had to also go meet a surveyor for my job because they needed money to go put a roof on the house because Florida's a scam and they charge for every nickel and dime fucking thing they can. Like, hey, it look like you need a new porch. Hey, you need a new roof, but you got to have a surveyor for this. You got to have this. You got to have what the fuck we got to do? Just put the fucking roof on the house. Now, you got to
be up to code.
You got to go do all this extra shit. I'm like, oh, whatever. So I had to go do that. I think your mic's muted, Donnie.
You're muted, Donnie.
So say there's reasons for that. You're like, I don't understand why you got to do that. There's lots of
I understand
reasons why.
I understand, but I don't want to get into full details of this
because people hired their friends, Billy Bob and Joe Bob, to come out and put the deck on, and then the deck fell down, and somebody sued somebody, and thus we got regulations.
I don't want to get into full details about this place, but I kid you not, we have been trying to put a roof on this property for 3 years.
How is that? That just sounds egregious.
Exactly.
I think California has a lot of similar issues.
After loophole,
by the time
I told them eventually, this roof is gonna cave in and fucking kill somebody, and it's because you guys don't want to let the guy, a professional roofer, not some rinky-dink guy out the corner, like a professional roofer, do his fucking job. Oh my God.
Now I about lost it. I told you guys over the break, my neighbor's house burned down across the street. They still haven't touched it because they have to go through all the insurance and everything. And the guy originally had contracted an RV to put in the driveway. He and his wife were going to live in the RV while they worked on the thing. And the county came out and told them that they couldn't do that. That's a residential neighborhood, and you're not allowed to. I was like, I almost lost it. I was like, I would have told that person, if you don't get the fuck off my property real quick.
Yes, go fuck.
Could you imagine telling that to somebody in front of their burned down to the ground house? I'd be like, dude,
suck a dick, sir.
Yeah, the next time you come back, bring the cops, because we're both going to need them. Because if you don't get the fuck out of my driveway, I'm going to make you a permanent fixture in it. Like, that was beyond wild for me to hear and have my neighbor explain that to me. Like, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. Speaking of getting the fuck off my driveway, I get home after a long day of fucking work, and my daughter's sick, so I have to take care of her. And I think I'm getting sick now. I don't know if it was what we ate or whatnot. I get home. I get in the house. I'm not even in the house for like maybe 10 minutes. And some motherfuckers at my door trying to get in my fucking house. Like, just at the front door. And, you know, I know.
Okay.
Yeah, and I know this because I have fucking blink cameras everywhere on my porch. Because, you know, when my grandmother was alive, you know, I was very concerned about her just letting anybody the fuck in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Some shit like that. So I have like blink cameras I have a doorbell camera and a front porch camera. So I'm looking at my door like, why this shit going on? Why I see somebody pulling on my doorknob? So I was like, yo, what the fuck you want? Because I went through the Ring doorbell and I went to go get something else, but that's a whole nother story for another day. You know what I went to grab?
Had to get that tool.
Yeah. And then you're like, oh, I want to know, did y'all lose a dog? I say, man, get the fuck off my motherfucking porch.
Yeah, because if I lost a dog and you ain't on my porch with the dog, what the fuck are you doing here, sir?
Yes. And why are you pulling on my fucking door?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, we don't do that here. That's how people get shot.
Legit.
Yeah. Mm-mm. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a day. It's been a long day. I've been busy, ultra busy all day. Then my daughter got sick. And then the old house I lived in, refrigerator went bad. So I got another refrigerator for them, and the people who had to take it up 2 flights of stairs just to find out it doesn't fit in the fucking kitchen door. It's like, I
always say, measure twice.
They did. It's like, it's not even like, it's like not even inches, like like millimeters off. Like, so we had to like take off the not the hinges. What the fucking shit called? I guess the door stops. Is that what it's called?
What?
No, the crown molding. The crown molding.
Okay.
Yeah. We had to take out the crown molding.
What?
We had to take out the crown molding and get the refrigerator in there. And then, you know, come to find out when they finally after they did that, I go look at the fridge. I go look under the refrigerator where the refrigerator was at, and the fucking like floor is going out. So I gotta get the floor fixed.
Oh my god!
So I can't even like I can't even put the refrigerator. I'm like, oh well. So I had to call my buddy who's a repairman. Like, hey, and he came over there. He's like, I'll fix the floor tomorrow. So I can't even hook up the refrigerator because, like, yeah. Fortunately,
better get a surveyor take care of that floor.
Fortunately, it's you know, it's two apartments. So I took all the food that was in the original refrigerator and put it next door until tomorrow. So that should be good. But yeah,
wow,
fucking tastes terrible. And I think I'm getting sick now too. So I'm like, oh,
it's only Wednesday.
Yeah, it's only Wednesday.
Yeah. My week has been fun. So my boss put in her 2 weeks, her 2 weeks notice 2 weeks ago. This is the best supervisor that I've ever had.
That doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah, it really sucks because she's been awesome and she's been like the glue that's kind of been keeping our department together. And she's leaving because our upper management just wasn't putting into place like the things that she's been trying to get done for like 2 years. And she's like, she let them know in like October of last year. She's like, I can't keep working like this. Like, I'm not growing. Nothing's happening. Like, I'm gonna leave. They're like, oh, okay. Well, we're gonna start making changes. There were no changes made, and now she's gone. So, just trying to piece together all of that. Like I said, she was amazing. Like, she's probably she is bar none the best supervisor I've ever had. So, just trying to figure out how I'm gonna go forward with all of that and what that could mean, because you know, you get a new boss and things change, or I can try to become the boss and deal with the shit she was dealing with. So I'm like, ugh, I gotta weigh my
there's that part.
options. Yeah, and then like the pay jump is like tiny. Like there's like it's like just this minuscule amount of money, which is also funny because anybody who comes in and takes that position is going to make less than everybody that reports to them. So it's also just an issue of compaction, and it's just a mess. So
Yeah,
dealing with
I don't
that,
believe that.
and then this week my son has had a lot of behavioral issues at school. So every day I get a call to come get your son because he's not
Uh-oh.
listening. He's throwing tantrums. He's just acting up, and we can't
Oh,
send him home on the school bus like this.
oh, that
So
sounds familiar. Isn't that right, Delvin Jr.?
yeah,
Same thing.
me and you are gonna have to have some conversations because
Yeah.
yeah. So these last 2 days, just dealing with him and just having to go pick him up from school, leave my job to go get him has been not great. So like he's already been on punishment for some behavioral issues where he's lost his ability to play video games. We took away TV. We've taken away a bunch of other stuff because he's just not getting it. The crazy part is this little Negro is still on the honor roll. So he's got all A's and B's. Just like
Yeah.
I can't even be mad at you
That,
because you're still doing well in school. You just are
that,
cutting the fuck up.
that sounds like
Like
my
you
son.
just no, telling the teachers no, not listening, not doing anything, just being a complete disruption, but then still somehow managing to get A's and B's. Just like
Yeah.
I can't even be super mad at you because you're still doing
I
well
can
in
do that.
school, but
No, I would be.
this behavioral
I'm,
stuff. Oh, I'm pissed. I
Yeah,
went off on
I
him.
think that's cool, but we have a zero tolerance policy for fucking up in school.
Yeah.
The expectation is A's and B's, and the expectation is good behavior.
Yeah, he
my son
ain't on that
shared
path right
someone.
now. He threw a chair at someone. That
Yes.
yeah,
Dude, my
son
daughter
did that
hit
as
somebody
well.
with a chair, like when she was in middle school.
Yeah. I should've-
Yeah,
Once he
my
did
son
that, I
threw a
should've got him,
chair
like, a
last
job
year.
at WB.
She was being bullied. So
Yeah, he was too. He was too.
So-
My son was not being.
that's
Terrible.
unfortunate.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Yeah, he just has a real problem with when the transition in periods. Like if he's doing something that he's really enjoying and then he has to stop and do something else, like he just has a really hard time making that transition. Or if he feels like he's not being listened to when he's trying to explain something, he has a really hard time with that. He's very, very emotional. So he's just in his emotions and does not know how to regulate. And that has bit him in the ass
I
for
will
the
say that
last month and a half.
him and Delvin would get along very well.
Yeah, they both love Sonic too.
Delvin would be a good resource to him. A very good resource. Similar
There we go.
issues. Same thing, and Delvin's on the other side of it. Great kid. I'm very proud of him.
Yeah, we gonna have to link up and figure that shit out because it's driving me
Yeah.
nuts. Because that is just not. That was never me. So it's like hard to relate. Like I don't.
Oh,
I don't-
I was a terror in school, which is why we don't have why we have a no tolerance policy for it.
Yeah. I wasn't a terror. I was like the cool kid. I just like
Same
chilled
here.
out. I wanted to be left alone half of the time. Like leave me the fuck alone.
Bingo.
I was chronically, constantly in detention. I knew the principal, every principal I ever had on a first name basis. Half the
I've
time
never
didn't go.
Had detention.
Half the time didn't go. I got detention my first day of middle school. First class. I didn't make it. I got detention in 20 minutes.
What did you do?
I mean, it's a funny story. I'll tell you if you want to hear it. But
Of course.
Yeah.
6th grade, first class of the day. Back in our days, we pulled out those agenda planners with the world on the front, and you flip through and you do your damn syllabus and everything. It's a bunch of nonsense. You just wasting time.
Yeah.
I was chewing gum, and apparently chewing gum was against the rules. And our school had a citation policy. Did your school have anything like that?
No. never
Something
heard
like
of
Right,
that.
so
We had something
citations were like write-ups, and you had like a certain amount that would trigger certain things.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I
uh,
get those.
So I was chewing gum. I never forget. Oh man, without making I can't tell you the whole story because it'd take forever, but without making myself sound just like a damn convict, like just basically what I was. This is the same teacher I ended up like almost getting to. Like I hit this teacher with a book once. Yeah, it's a whole thing. And he was a sweet guy too. He hit me first. Like he threw something at me. I threw something back. But anyway, that was a different day.
What
Different
book
story.
Was it? That's the question. What book was it?
It was my science book.
Okay. Those are pretty thick
Those were
books.
thick. Yeah, that's a thick
Yeah,
book
yeah.
right there.
So anyway, sorry, I'm getting sidetracked. I was chewing gum in the class, 20 minutes in the class. And he goes, Mr. Reese, you aware that chewing gum is against the rule? And I was like, nah, man, I just got here. And he goes, well, that's a citation. I was like, what are those? And he was like, let's discuss. And he's like, all right. So he reads the whole thing. I won't regurgitate all of it, but the gist of it is, after 2 citations, you get detention. After 4, you get something else. After whatever, you get sent home. And like 7 is like the number to go to the principal. Like, so you get 7. And for anybody that's just now joining us, have never listened to our DLCs or know nothing about me, I grew up a very unruly child.
He's a habitual line stepper.
So I was like, cool. And he goes,
the scene from Demolition Man, where he's just cursing, getting the use of toilet paper.
You're not wrong. It wasn't that dramatic, but like we are literally 20 minutes into class. Like we haven't even woke up yet, and I've never been more of a morning person. And I was like, okay. He was like, so do you want your first citation? I was like, that's fine, whatever, man. And he goes, okay. And he literally got up, stopped class, everything, went and started filling out. It looked like a traffic ticket. They had like a little form you fill out and you rip it. And he gave it to me, and I was like, cool, dude. Who gives a fuck? And he was like, are you cut? Do you want another one? I was like, he goes, okay, spit out the gum. And I was like, why? And he was like, you just got a citation for it. I was like, and I'm going to chew the gum. Like, I did the crime. Let me fucking, at least I could keep the gum. Mm-hmm. And he goes, if you don't spit out that gum, you're getting another one. And I was like, let's do this. Let's light this fucking candle. And I was like, okay. And he did too. And then we sat there for another 10 minutes. He did. We did 3. And I was like, dude, at this point, I'm not spitting out the gum. And he filled out all 7. And I walked to the principal's office like an hour into class.
Wow. Let me ask this question. I know you don't have to answer it, Donnie. But this whole display he did, didn't that disrupt the class
100%.
more than letting you
100%, which is what I was saying in the midst of it. You know, I was just like, to me, it just felt like a worthless like display of power. You know, it was like, dude, okay, like it's, and I even told him, I was like, dude, if you just let me chew the gum, I would have spit it out before we left class. You know, like just like, why are we doing all this? And honestly, it wasn't that heated. I let him fill out his forms. He gave them to me, and I was like, that's cool. And I picked up my stuff, and the funny thing about this story, you know, I told you guys before, or at least you guys know, listeners don't, I moved around a lot. I had a lot of parents, had a lot of school systems in my life. The principal that was my principal in 6th and 7th grade, and I got in a lot of fights. I got suspended like many times. So his name was Principal Klein, and anybody that had him knows that on the announcements, he would read the announcements every day. In middle school, he'd always do this: make it a great day or not. The choice is yours. Like everybody would always mock him for that. So I'm in high school in a completely different school, like an hour away, completely different school district and everything. 9th grade, I'm walking through the hallway talking to my girlfriend at the time, and lo and behold, do I hear my name being called from a distant office as I walk by. Donnie Reese! Step into my, and the fuck if it's not Mr. Klein. He just took the principal job. He heard my voice in the hallway.
That's how
and
you
was
know
like
a lot of time with that man.
That's what I'm saying. Like I walked in and I was like, yo, Klein, what the fuck are you doing here? He goes like, I know we're not about to have a bunch of problems. I was like, listen, I'm not going to promise anything. You know, I was like, but it was like, it was a more rural school. And I was like, look, it's kind of chill here. Nobody's like, you know, we're not doing citations. We're not doing all this nonsense. Like, I'm not trying to beat up people. Like, it's fine. So it was
in my head
pretty nice.
Picturing Principal Strickland from Back to the Future.
Oh yeah, McFly. Absolutely. Oh my God.
So it was pretty funny. I was chronically a bad kid.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know I was in class. Like I was just there.
Half the time you wouldn't know I went to school because I didn't go to class.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm asleep. I wake up. I get an A on whatever test we're taking, and then it's like I'm not even there. I'm ready to go home or go play. I'm ready to go to practice. I'm there just to get the football practice.
So that was my thing. You were talking about like, you know, he's got bad behavior, he's got good grades. Like that was me. I had excellent grades, and I barely showed up. It was especially so in high school, that weird district I went to, they had a weird learning academic calendar that was different. It was like some magnet program or whatever. long story short, when I transferred back my junior year, I was almost completed with school credits. So I only went to class my junior and senior year. I took 2 classes my junior year, 1 class my senior year. And I was working, as you guys know. Like, I had an apartment and stuff in high school. So literally I was like, listen, I'm going to come, I'm going to take the test, and I'm going to leave. Like, let me graduate.
Grown man problems.
Kind of. I was like, I got rent, I got lights and shit. Like, listen, let's not fuck around with like this tomfoolery and nonsense. Like, okay, like I'm here to golf. I'm gonna make practice. I'm gonna make A's, and I'm gonna go home. And it's crazy how different school is. Like, I get automated text alerts when my kids don't turn in an assignment.
Yep.
Like, I know everything about them constantly. And that would have driven me mad if I was just like, I couldn't have operated under that. Because like my junior year, my math teacher, Mr. Libertor, he sent my assignments home with Melissa. He would just see her in the hallway and be like, all right, tell Donnie he needs, because I just didn't come. Like, I would come up like once every other week or so. I could write my own excuses. Like, truancy wasn't an issue. I was a emancipated student, you know, like I essentially had to work out a deal with the principal. He was like, listen, if your grades drop, I was like, they never have. So that was basically it. Keep my grades up and nobody will worry about it too much.
I didn't even have great grades. I had a C average because I did not do homework. I was not doing any projects. I just got A's on every single test, but had no points from anything else. So I said, if I can't do it here, I'm not doing it.
I think it's a crime we ever allowed assignments of homework.
I agree.
Like, that is so much nonsense. Like, yeah, like,
I'm not.
Do you imagine if your work gave you homework?
Right.
Like, listen, when you clock out, when you get home, I'm going to need you to hand over this spreadsheet and update these databases and turn these in tomorrow morning. I'm like, man, if you don't get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, absolutely not. And yes, John, I'm just the older version of 15-year-old me.
Dev was Dev even in high school.
1,000%.
That's funny.
That's different.
Funny. Yeah, I fell asleep in that same guy's class, and to wake me up, he hit me with a pen. To which I woke up and returned that book across the room.
Return fire.
My God.
I appreciate it.
That's hilarious.
Honestly, I thank my aunt and uncle a lot, because they got me in the second half of 8th and 9th grade. And if it wasn't for them, I don't know, like, they literally kind of changed my entire life. And it was against my will, you know, and it's not a lot of stuff. Like, they were super religious and stuff, and I didn't pick up any of that and kind of hated it the whole time. But it wasn't so much that. It was more of, like, the doctrine of, like, just the discipline. The discipline of, like, you don't have to do this anymore. You know, like, you don't have to behave this way anymore. It was just more like that. My uncle kind of spoke to me on that level. You know, it was more about maturation and stuff. And he was probably the first person in my life that did that. Everybody else was like, kept me around to collect the check or something. Like, there was always like, I was just kind of in the background, you know, that kind of changed.
Yeah,
I was much better. Yeah, I was much better in high school. Like, I do skirmishes and I still got in trouble from time to time, but it really wasn't for, like, not like middle school. I was fucking a hellion. Just an absolute hellion, man.
I
feel bad for those kids.
Cracking skulls.
I really was.
Lockers.
I really was. Yeah.
I can tell we grew up in a different generation in time, because I can't imagine today, like, a teacher throwing a pencil at a student.
Absolutely not.
And
I had a teacher close the door once so I could fight.
Left. Yeah. That was a thing.
100%. I had 2 teachers. I had a coach do it, which I think everybody's like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I got in a fight with a class bully. He was huge too, like Coach Mo, huge, like 6'6", like big. And he would always fuck with me. He was older too. It was in one of my advanced classes, so I was like the youngest kid in the room. And he'd always fuck with me, throw things, pinch, pull my hair and shit. And I turned around, I was like, dude, I've had enough. And the coach took us out in the hallway and he goes, all right, we can go to the principal or we can go outside. And I was like, fucking, let's go outside. And we did. And like you tell that story to people today, they're like, what? Like, that actually happened.
That was a thing.
And I had a kid in 7th grade, kicked me in the balls.
See, that's
and the teacher saw it.
Hit with a chair.
It was the math teacher, and she saw it, And she literally turned around. It was in the middle of class change. She walked out into the hallway and closed the door with us left in there.
Was it Bobby Hill?
Right.
It's like some fucking Sons of Anarchy scene or something. I beat the hell out of that kid. But I feel bad. You laugh about it. I feel bad now as an adult. I didn't know any better at the time.
I don't feel bad about any ass whoopings. I doled out people.
Yeah, I never got into fights in school.
It just like wasn't.
People I thought was my best friend.
Like it wasn't fair. You know, we're talking like a bunch of children. Middle school, you were literally children, and like I had fought adults at that point. So like it was like, you know, it's like Braun Breaker just being unleashed on middle schoolers or some shit. Like it wasn't right, man.
Well, sometimes people fuck around and find out. Eh?
I was. Hey, listen, I told you guys before. I was very good at wrestling. Those poor kids. They didn't stand a chance, man.
Yeah.
I was very good at boxing and other sports, so people fucked around and found out real quick, like, oh, let's leave him alone.
I got much softer in age.
You guys got bullied.
I get more empathetic and sympathetic as an older I get.
They tried. They tried.
Yeah. Nobody fucked with me. I was just left alone. Nobody bothered me. I played basketball, I played football, and I just went about my business. Yeah. I never got not a single fight.
Wow.
I never got detention. Yeah.
Oh, I think I got detention. It was like, because, you know, I know these things because I have a profile. We go over in the court and stuff. I think I got detention like, what the hell?
How did we revert to Cadillac?
I don't know what just happened.
The ghost of Chalfie.
That is
like
weird.
Just haunting us.
There it is.
I don't know what this is. I want to kick this person out. Well, I don't know. I think it maybe thinks it's me. But yeah, like I got detention like 7th grade like 15 times or something like that.
God damn.
Yeah, no, it was a lot. Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, no. But yeah, now they don't do detention, they don't do suspension, none of that stuff. So like he's got like in school stuff that he has to do. So he has to go see this one teacher and they have this curriculum in Google Classroom that they work on. And like he's great at that. No problems. Like he likes that stuff. Like he's enjoying that. So
do they have like any sort of behavior correction like
so he has this he has this one teacher that he meets with named Mr. Justin that helps with that. And then he's been to see the school psychiatrist as well as
as long as it's not just work. Like
worker.
Some things you can't just work out of people. Okay.
No, it's a whole other stuff. We got a whole, what is it called? I-5? I forgot what the form is called. We got a whole plan to help him through this because it's been an issue since 1st grade. But 1st grade was more or less because he was just bored. Like he was way ahead. He went into 1st grade already knowing how to read and how to write, all his math, like everything. So he's like heads and shoulders above everybody in the class. And he's like, I'm done. Within 2 minutes of this lesson, I'm done.
Nothing else to do
something. He's a boy and has ADD and all the energy in the world. So he's like, I'm going to find something to do, and now I'm disrupting your class.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I get that.
But, yeah, it is what it is. So
that really should be something for kids like that. Like kids, because it happens a lot. My son dealt with that. I know a lot of kids who dealt with that. Like they should have like something like, okay, this kid's clearly like.
Well, they do. They have advanced and special programs and stuff that do challenge them a bit more and give them more things to do.
Yeah.
But it's more about, for me, it would have been, like my uncle, it would have been helpful to have more behavioral intervention earlier.
Yeah. I'm like,
yeah, I think that, and I think we need more male teachers. Like that's another problem that
help.
There's no male teachers. He's had one, and that was for a semester of 2nd grade. Every other teacher he's had has been female, and I boys and girls are just different. Boys aren't going to just sit there. Like they need activity and things to do and ways to be challenged in a different way. So like, it just doesn't work.
Hold on.
So he's definitely struggling with that.
June
Jack,
are you fucking Shaq?
Yeah, he's throwing down.
No, look at, I was already 6'5".
Yeah.
How tall are you now?
God damn. I would kill to be 6'5".
Yeah.
If I was 6'5", I would be in the NBA. I'd be retiring from the
6'5".
NBA.
6'5" height.
He beat the hell out of me, but I think I hit him harder than anybody else has. So
sometimes that's all that matters.
He felt that.
Yeah, no, he didn't bother me again.
Exactly. Like, this is too much work. That's all you gotta do. Just let him know, hey, this might be a little bit too much work for me.
I told him, it's like, you can't hit me harder than some of the other people have. So, like, everybody else scared of you. Ain't like, there's no fear over here, buddy. Like, I told the coach immediately. I was like, let's go outside, and I just turned and started walking. I was like, I can handle this. We don't have to go to the principal's office. No problem.
Yeah. I love that June Dubs is only 6'6". Only.
Right.
Only 6'6".
Giant.
What the fuck, John 32?
What? Donnie will make prison his bitch is basically what he's saying.
Poof.
I hope so.
Yeah, I don't know about that. But
I hope so.
It's very. I think the mentality was almost similar. You know, like, I've never gone to therapy to like really try to go through that. I don't think I want to. But like, of just putting myself back in those shoes. I told you this story before. I'm not trying to turn the show into that, but I'm just trying to close the gaps for anybody that's listening and people thinking maybe what John 32 is thinking. You know, I got taken from my mom in 4th grade, and in 3rd grade I went to 14 different schools and got held back because we were on the move and so much. And then 5th grade I basically skipped because they moved me to Georgia and I was awarded the state. And they were trying to find places to put me, and my grandparents and my cousins and then my aunt, and then I ended up just being with like a foster family. So like all of that, those 3 years or so, you just roll me into 6th grade class. Do you know like how weird that is for like a kid from that walk to like care about school,
right?
To care about rules. Like that's like, if I could explain the mentality to somebody, that's where I was. But I didn't understand that because it's like survival.
Yeah, I'm just the flies.
I'm literally just living. Like, you know, I don't know where I'm going to be next week. I don't know who I'm going to be with. Like, I don't give a shit about your citation. I don't give a shit about your agenda. Like, you know, like that was the least of my concerns. I didn't even want to be here. I didn't want to be in Georgia. Like, I hate all these, you know, like, so it was a tough few years there. And nobody like sat me down and like tried to maybe help me process any of that. You know, I kind of had to find that on my, like I said, my uncle helped a lot.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad that you found your way to him.
Sean Capri.
The milkman, Carl.
He's back.
Carl. Hey, listen, I was dropping double dubs with Carl. Okay, Carl was getting work.
Nice. So yeah, that's been my week. Other than that, I've just been playing Far Cry 6 and enjoying the hell out of it. So that's been my reprieve from all the shit that's going on. I'm gonna go and fucking liberate this goddamn island.
Damn right.
Lots of soldados. Everybody's dying. Y'all getting shot in the head.
Fucking Rambo Simulator. It's the best, man.
I can give you some kind of good news. Hold on one second. This came in the mail today.
Can't see it.
Your camera sucks. We can't read
it's blurry as hell,
That's
man.
what it is.
It's
blips and blips. Spider-Man.
You can't see that? Spider-Man.
It's Amazing Spider-Man. That game sucks.
No, not the Amazing Spider-Man. It's the other one that never came out here. The Superior Foe to Spider-Man.
The Superior Spalding Spider-Man? What did you say? What were those words?
It's called The Amazing Spider-Man Lethal Foes. That's what it's called.
Lethal Foes.
It only came out in Japan.
Starring Mel
I
Gibson.
bet it's still trash.
Nah, it's probably good.
It's probably good.
He hasn't played it yet.
Probably good.
Has no idea.
It's probably good.
From what I saw of it looks like Maximum Carnage.
Sean says.
Okay.
Keep moving it erratically.
That's a good idea.
It's like trying to take a picture of a fucking ghost.
Right?
That's funny. That's funny.
You play anything, Donnie?
Pokemon.
Like a new Pokemon, or you like old Pokemon? What are we doing?
Oh, I'm playing Legends Arceus. Talked about Jack.
Okay.
I like it.
Why do you like your
okay.
cat? You know goddamn well your cat was playing Pokemon. He couldn't name any Pokemon.
It's only because y'all been on this I'm playing old stuff kick, so I was just wondering.
I'm still I played Carl Malone Simulator.
Game.
You're supposed to be playing old stuff. That's your bag too.
No, it's not. Y'all
Deserted Island.
gave me that bag. Yeah, I'm
Loves
on
it. Plays it
Deserted
every
Island
day.
right now. So
fucking balloon fight is his shit.
Oh God,
he's about to get down some fucking ice climbers.
Nah, man, it'd be Contra all day. Contra, bad dudes. Oh man,
I love Contra.
Contra's great.
I played my GameCube. I've been doing my NCAA. I've been playing a game a day. And I did take Karl Malone for a spin. 2K.
Carl.
The better 2K.
WWE 2K is out today.
Is it?
I think if you buy the early version, I think it came out today. I didn't even know.
I'm in a weird place where I'm not really excited to buy or play anything that's on the horizon anytime soon.
Interesting.
I like the story mode of WWE 2K. I like this year's the Bloodlines. I'm like, I kind of want to play that. I'm excited. Like, for that.
I think Ubisoft's going to give us Shadows, which I'm going to try to get Dev to play. I don't think I'm going to play it yet.
Oh, interesting.
Like, I don't even think I want to. Like, I don't want to. Like, I'm not in the mood to, like, I don't want to start, like, some 50-hour something.
Well, then just give me the code so I can put it on my account and not have to log in.
That's not how it works. They don't give you a code. They add it to the library, man.
That's not how it worked for the last one.
Yes, it is.
It was a code,
that's how it always works now. We'll see if they actually give it to us. They told us that last time they didn't give it to us. So, at this point,
gave us Star Wars.
At this point, it was Mirage. They didn't give us Mirage.
Oh.
At this point, I'm surprised we're still in the program. I think they just count us as like Uplay player. They're like, if we pay them, they'll use it. Like, I mean, that's basically all we are. We're like,
I played a lot of Star Wars, so
we're like free analytics for them.
It works for me if it gets me to play
free
the game.
metrics. We'll see.
Looking forward.
But like, let's say if they don't give it to us, like I'm not planning to buy Shadows anytime soon. Like I definitely want it. I want to play it, but like right now I'm just not in the headspace of like I'm ready to commit and play like this really long game right now. Like I don't really have any of that energy, and I haven't for I would say weeks.
Long time.
Yeah, but it's at this point it's been months, so I don't know. Mm-hmm. I'll come out of it eventually, I guess.
You'll come out of it after you get the Switch too, and have actually played some things, and like I could get into a long epic.
Perhaps it's easier with the Switch. I mean, that I got to tell you, that's a part of it. The only thing I've played for 2.5 months has been Switch. You know, that's the part of it that's like the idea of sitting down and locking myself to a television and staying like that's just kind of not in what's going on right now.
Yeah. That's all I want to do is sit down in front of this computer and play games right now. I'm just like, leave me alone. Let me just space out.
I'll tell you, Dev might be interested in this. I am playing a game. I completely forgot. Yeah, I talked about it on Cadillac yesterday. There's a Masters of the Universe fan game that is fucking awesome. It's like a side-scrolling beat-em-up where you can play as He-Man, Man-at-Arms, Tila, the Sorceress, Skeletor.
Why would you play as Skeletor?
Because the bad guy in the game is Hordak.
Oh my God.
That's why Sheila's in it. It looks like the cartoon show, and it is fun as fuck. I love it.
Now, when you say like fun, is like what makes it fun? Is it just like a Streets of Rage clone? Like you said, it's a side-scroller beat 'em up.
It's like a Streets of Rage clone. It came out apparently like a while ago, like 2012. It looks.
That's a long time ago, not a while ago. Like that's ancient history at this point.
Yeah, it looks like the show. It starts like when you boot it up, it starts just like the He-Man show, like to the T. Like it's like you're watching an episode of He-Man. It's so cool, and a fan made it. I guess it took a while to make it, but that shit is dope.
What is it on? Is this like a Flash game? Is it on Steam? Where are you playing this?
I just downloaded it. It's called it's on Game Junk. You can find it.
It's on Game Junk?
Game Jolt.
Game Jolt.
Looky there.
And you're playing this on your computer? Where are you playing it
on my Steam Deck. Steam Deck.
So computer. Computer.
Yeah.
That's what that is. It's a computer.
I just sent the link so you can see what it looks like.
All right, cool.
Private chat.
There's no question here, Sean. But
it's not a question. We also don't care about sticks on ice.
That's crazy that Ovi is that close.
Sure.
To the great one? Gretzky? That's nice.
That is kind of crazy, yeah.
That's nuts.
That is.
I knew Ovi was good. I didn't know he had it like that. That's crazy.
I didn't know that girl. I had no idea that it was that unattainable. I didn't know it was unobtainium for him to have that record being broken.
I mean, it's 2025, and the goal still, the record still belongs to Wayne Gretzky. That seems like a pretty crazy record.
Yeah.
Again, had no idea because it's hockey.
Because he hasn't iced in some time.
Yeah, you know.
I mean, that's like LeBron breaking Kareem's goal record.
Yeah.
Right.
I know Wayne.
Same rarefied air. Yeah, exactly. He's the white guy, right?
Yeah, he's the white guy from Pro Stars.
Mm-hmm. That was a great
show.
So
you know he got to be good if he's up there with Michael Jordan and Bo Jackson.
Right. Bo Jackson. I mean, he is the Bo Jackson of hockey.
Bo Jackson's my guy. I love Bo Jackson.
Oh, man. Cut too soon. God.
Yeah.
Oh, it makes me sad.
But that's not a question, though. Okay, here's the question. Do you think he'll break the record? And what do you make of this historic moment? I don't make anything of it.
I got to tell you, we don't care.
I think he'll break.
We don't care.
What is it, like 10? He got that.
Did I win? I did win.
What'd you win?
What did you win?
The bidding for a copy of Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3 on Switch. So.
Deals with Donnie. Never
Not
ends.
a deal. I paid a pretty penny for it.
Is it rare or something?
I think so. I don't know if it is or not. I don't see it around often. And, those retro collections, they don't do a lot of prints of them. So.
I didn't realize it was a retro collection. I just assumed it was.
It's the first 3. It's Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3. It's just ROMs.
Oh.
Yeah. I bought it for the box.
Okay. So it's not like something that was released? Okay.
It is. No, it is.
Yeah. Good for you.
Not bad.
Good for you, sir. All right. Enough about our nonsense. Let's get into some actual video game news.
It's some people hating big time, but it's people hating on this campus. You are freaking African Americans plus Mark. You know what I'm saying? Which I'm rocking with Mark because Mark is rocking with us.
Nice. It's a good one.
I love it.
I love that one. That's great.
Let's look at the news. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, all rumored, officially announced, coming to all platforms, including Nintendo Switch. Day 1 on Game Pass, of course, as Xbox owns Activision. Comes with a deluxe and collector's edition with Doom content, where you can skate as the Doom Slayer or the Revenant and customize your characters with lots of Doom hoodies, hats, and skateboards.
That's cool.
It's pretty cool.
Is that the one Wayne was in?
I don't know. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 is getting all of the reaction afterwards for several reasons. The first being popular infamous character Bam Margera does not look like he will be included in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4, which he was in the original game. Just not having a character doesn't seem like that big of a deal, but one of the, was it Thug? Yeah, the Tony Hawk's Underground. I think 2 maybe? I kind of got off the ride before that, so I may be off base there, but my understanding is that like the roster was split between like Team Hawk and Team Margera. So like he's a prominent figure in the series moving forward. So if they're going to keep remastering games, him not being included might be problematic. For anybody that's not kept up with Bam has had frequent addiction and legal problems since Jackass. Yeah. So I don't know.
Like Tony Hawk 5.
I always liked Bam, and I liked his show and stuff and his shtick. He was funny and he was a good skater, but man, that man has had like 100 million second chances at this point and just keeps fucking everybody over. So I kind of don't care. I don't. Okay, I don't know. I would understand why you would want to pull him out of the game.
Let me ask the question because I legit don't know because I don't follow Bam Margera. Is his fucking people over like actually like affecting people, or is he just like no. There's kids and custody battles and family battles and property battles. Gotcha.
And
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
He takes off and runs off to France and shit, and then he he goes on Instagram and he cries to his followers that, like Bam is like Jeff Hardy in that he has undying love from his fans.
Okay.
Like he can fuck up again and again and again and they will always be there for him to come back. So there's this cycle with him where he's like, I'm getting better, guys. I'm drinking water. Like I'm skating again. And everybody's like, he's back. And then he's like, you find out, no, he was like doing drugs and was found in a gutter and fought somebody on camera and got arrested. And, he's not.
So he's definitely like Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, he really is. It's a really good parallel. I didn't think about it. I just pulled that out of the hat, but
it's a really good parallel.
I'm just mad that he has the amount of money where he can just go off to do all of this nonsense. Like that makes me mad.
His show was very popular. His MTV show was huge.
Yes, it was.
He made a lot of money with Jackass and whatnot. But anyway, yeah, Viva La Bam. So he's not going to be included. So some people are upset about that. Not really. I haven't seen a lot of outrage, but some. More possibly upsetting. And I don't, to be fair, I don't know this to be true or not yet. There is some language on the game's listing that seems to suggest that Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 may not have the story mode that the original game had. That they're retooling that a bit. They mention that the tracks have been remastered and recreated for 4K and all that. And then they say we have a streamlined goals mode and the 2-minute format. So for anybody that's never played Tony Hawk, in the first 3 games, it's like level based. You pick a level, you're trying to accomplish a goal or a set of goals. You have 2 minutes to do it. And you do as much as you can. And then at the end of it, then you restart or do it again, keep checking off the box. 4 was different. 4 was like open world. It was like a little hub, like a little free skate. Like free skate was the campaign. So you like skate around and you would like find objectives to do by like talking to people, and they would give it. And they was still like level based. I think some people that are very upset about this news, I think, are maybe just being angry because in the game, when you actually got the objectives to do, they were also timed. A lot of them, not all of them, but most of them were. I think 4 was like the last one I played. I kind of got off the ride, I think, after 4. But it's also the one that I have like never gone back to. Like I've played 1 and 2, obviously they had the re-release, but even before the re-release, I would play it every so often on 64 or something. I've never gone back to play 4. So I think I have this right, but like you would skate around, talk to people, and then they would give you like 2 minutes to go collect the letters or whatever. So like I read that, I was like, maybe they're doing this to like keep the format and the UI and the menus the same across all 4 games. I could understand that. And I think that would make some sense, actually. But when you're saying you're remaking 4, if you're not walking around talking to dumb NPCs getting levels, then you're not remaking 4. You've basically made a new 4. Yep. So there are people upset about that right now. And I can understand it. I don't want to like hold water for them, but I think there's a lot of people that Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4 is like their favorite Tony Hawk game. Mm-hmm. And if that were me, it's not. I think 3 is like the best, but if that were me, I'd be upset. If like my favorite game was getting like completely reworked like that, that would kind of piss me off too. I get it. So
I never played anything past the first one, so I don't have anything to add to this at all.
I didn't even write down the launch date.
Like
when is it coming out?
July or something?
Like yeah, July it's 11th? Something like that. That's why I probably didn't write down July 11th.
I was right. Look at that.
So we've got a long time. So no point in getting too upset about that already. But I will be playing it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, one, I'll probably pick it up immediately on Game Pass and then figure out what is happening on Switch 2 with it. Right? If it's getting a Switch 2 version or an upgrade, then I'll buy it on Switch. But I have Game Pass. I'll be playing it on Game Pass first, probably, until I figure out wherever Nintendo lands.
PC or on your Xbox?
PC for sure. Yeah.
Delvin, are you planning on playing this game? You got rid of your Game Pass.
When it's on sale. Tony Hawk is something I can.
It'll be on sale quickly. The last one was.
Like once it's Black Friday, I can get this.
I picked up Pro Skater 1 and 2 for Switch for $20.
Yeah, see that's what I picked.
I'll get it when it comes to PS Plus.
Yeah. Sure.
That's why I have 1 and 2.
Do that. Well, shit. Then again, I might not even have PS Plus by then. there's that.
Damn. Delvin said, I'm done with you subscriptions. I'm done with it all. I'm getting out the game. I'm playing Super Nintendo. That's it.
I don't see the need for these things anymore. Like, I'm done.
I'm out the game.
I'm done with it.
May not be far behind you. I'm hoping the Switch 2 is a nice jolt.
You're going to be really far behind him because you got Game Pass for a decade.
I mean, yeah, I paid for it, but I may not be using or paying attention to it. So
I paid.
At that point, it's just sunk costs.
For several years, I think. Like I had it. I think this is my. What happened? God damn it! This might be my last year PS Plus that I paid for. I think I had it like paid in advance for like 4 or 5 years.
Wow. I think you only stacked 3. Like you never been able to stack more than 3.
But every time it did it, I just like every time they had the sale, I backed up it.
Yeah.
I wonder if Chalfie still has like his computer open.
Knowing Chalfie,
right, like you can't rule that out. That like he got up and left it there as is, and it's still there. Like
never logged out. It's still running on Safari. It's
still trying to go.
Alley.
I blame him.
Yeah, for sure.
Game Pass updates. The 3rd, which is not today, right? Today is the 5th. So already out is Monster Train. Today you can play Galacticare, whatever that is. Tomorrow is one lonely outpost, which is, I mean, while he's here, it's a Sean-ass game. March 11th, you get to play Enter the Gungeon. And then March 13th is Mullet Magic, which is a game I've had on my wish list for some time now, so I can finally play it. Because I've been hunting a good sale for that.
What the hell is Mullet Magic?
It's like this acid neon boomer shooter.
Correct.
Super colorful.
Like Bayou Billy.
I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, just like acid trip, Beavis and Butthead type of stuff. So it looks awesome. I've been excited to play it. So I will use Game Pass this month, which is something I haven't said in a while.
Look at that.
March 18th, 33 Immortals comes out. One day at some point, I would like to try that game. Have you guys heard or seen that? It's been in several of the directs and presentations.
I've heard the name. Couldn't tell you what the hell it was.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
It's a I would call it a mass multiplayer roguelite. But I mean, that's too much. It is a roguelite game that you play with online multiplayer up to 33 other people. Like you all go on a run to kill a boss together. So it's like this isometric thing where you're all fighting and trying to do the run together, and then you die and you start all over again. Like, is that a game for me? No. Do I want to experience it once to see what it's like? I think so. Like, I want to do like a run. Is that something I'm going to sit there and keep doing it and to the end of the game? Yeah, definitely not. So,
is there an end of the game?
I have no idea. It's a novel. It's unique. It's like Hades, but like mass multiplayer Hades. So
no.
It's unique, if anything. Looks awesome. Neil Druckman was interviewed by, I've already forgotten.
Variety.
I was going to say The Verge. I knew that wasn't right. I was like, that's not right. And he was asked about Last of Us 3. And he says, and I quote, "I was waiting on this question," Druckman said. But I guess the only thing that I would say is don't bet on there being more of The Last of Us. This could be it.
Didn't he say that about the first one?
Well, he did, but this is a departure on what he's been saying about 3 for the last 2-3 years. He's been saying, well, I've got a story, I've got a concept, I'm excited, we're working on it. Like, he's been basically suggesting that a third one would come. And then I think this is the first time since 2's release that he's put doubt on that. So, my question...
all in on Intergalactic, and they're like, eh.
Well, my question is, do they do it as the TV show?
I was thinking the same thing. Just continue the story on in the TV show.
That was my concern when they were like, we're doing the TV. Like, I said that the first time because at some point I always get concerned. This is fucking getting annoying.
Tell me!
Fucking, as soon as he's like, yeah, I'm back. And then he just ruins everything. That was my concern, is that at some point somebody would be like, hey, instead of us spending $400 million to make this story game, why don't we just do the show? Like, we'll do the story there. You know, I'm waiting for that to be the next thing. We'll make the multiplayer live service game, and then we'll tell you the story in our TV show series when you subscribe to Paramount Plus.
I gotta tell you, they can fuck all the way off of that shit.
Hey,
really?
It's not that outrageous. Because they're looking at it as it's way cheaper.
Would y'all play it? Would y'all even play it 3 after how y'all felt about 2?
No,
right.
I like 2.
Did you?
Yeah, but that's not the pop. That's not the. If Last of Us 3 was being made, that would be a gigantic event for a game. That game would sell a lot.
I like 2.
I would.
I didn't. It wasn't like the one. It didn't set the world on fire like I thought it would. But I like 2.
It absolutely set the world on fire.
It did set the world on fire.
In the wrong way.
In setting things on fire is the appropriate description. It set shit on fire.
I think that's.
They were arguing about the game 3 years after it, for 3 years. Every day I opened Reddit, there was a thread about if Last of Us 2 was good or not. like that war has been going on ever since.
Sean.
Yeah.
Yes,
John, you can just say Joel. It's not a. You can just say they killed Joel.
Yes, they can.
It's not a spoiler shot.
They could bring Ghost Joel back and kill him.
They could. But yeah, I think that's I think how divisive the conversation is around Last of Us 2 is like the best fucking thing ever. I think it's incredible.
I think it is a testament to the game. I mean, I think it proves a point that he struck a chord. That was my sentiment when I played the game. Was it felt like he made a game specifically to counteract the franchise's own fandom.
I love it.
So it's very divisive.
Yeah.
Which there's some credit to that.
I love it.
So,
but I'd be okay with them doing the third part in just a TV show. I'd be totally okay with that. I don't know
if HBO likes it and it's still getting ratings and they want to pony up the money. I mean, it's like I said, it's a lot cheaper to do that than make the game.
Yeah.
So,
I don't want it. Game of Thrones did that, and how did that turn out?
Yeah.
Railroad Martin still writing that last goddamn book.
But see, the difference would be it'd be Neil Druckman doing it, so he'd be continuing his story versus Game of Thrones deciding we're just gonna try to figure this out ourselves.
That was fucking terrible. I hate that last season.
We don't have a lot of news this week, so we're already into the headline segment.
Lovely.
This next story has a question to go with it, so I guess we can do both at once if you want.
Yeah.
Famed 90s publisher Acclaim is set to be revived, focusing on indie developers and what they say are their classic franchises, which I have a comment about, but I'll save it. It's an indie game studio dev that's leading it as CEO, and Jeff Jarrett, Double J Slapnuts, is on the board of directors, which, for anybody that doesn't follow his successful career as an entrepreneur, only speaks to the utmost success that this company will have to know that Jeff Jarrett is there making the hard decisions and his empire of well-ran businesses behind him.
Yeah.
That is all sarcasm, people. This man has killed every company he's touched for the last 20 years.
Pretty much.
I mean, yeah, that's not even a slam at him. That's just facts. That's just the truth. This man has stopped and started no less than 10 wrestling companies that have all went in the trash. So I don't know how much that bodes well. I don't know which one of our questions is for Acclaim.
I'm trying to figure out what's their classic games they're going to do. Because all these games are fucking licensed.
I've got a question. I mean, I've got a
I have the question. It's from Tyler Knopp. He said, "Hey, PSVG, Cop. Acclaim
Welcome back, Tyler. He's been a long time. Well, Tyler's back.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Tyler." He says, "Acclaim is back. What's the first game from them that comes to mind? They're one of the best publishers and had tons of choices. His would be 94's Virtual Bart for the Sega Genesis."
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's the first thing that comes to mind?
That's a shocker.
Bart?
Yeah.
Well, they had some good Simpsons games. I do remember people liking those Simpsons
First
games.
of all, stop with the good. No, they did not. Those
Simpsons
were
games.
Terrible.
People like them.
It's NBA
No,
Jam.
they didn't. They didn't even make NBA Jam. They just published it.
But the logo, they published it.
Yeah,
when I think Acclaim, I think Jam. I think Mortal Kombat.
I think Quarterback Club.
WWF.
I think Terminator 2 arcade game.
Terminator. Correct. Quarterback Club is a good one.
I think Quarterback Club. Acclaim, when I think of NBA Jam on Super Nintendo, I think of the Iguana Corp that actually made the game. Like, I remember seeing the Iguana go by. Like, that's what I think of when I think about NBA Jam.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, Acclaim, like, really? Like,
all right. So I've got thoughts.
Mid.
I have so many thoughts because no less than 7 people posted this story in our Discord, like one after the other, after the other, after the other.
Just kept happening.
So I kept telling you, people, and my timeline that day was full of it too. Like, people saw the Acclaim logo, the headline, and they're like, "We're back, baby! Limited run." It's like, no, none of that shit's coming back. None of it. And I hate to be the person that pours that cold water on people, but it's like that was a very evident day that nobody reads the articles. Nobody clicked into any of that and read. I was like, Double J's held. And they're like, what? Like I was like, nobody's reading any of this for 2 reasons. Delvin, you're right. The majority of things we associate with Acclaim are licensed games.
Stuff.
They don't have the rights to those. They can't just relicense any of that. Here's the other thing. Acclaim went bankrupt. That company and its assets and its rights to any IP that it had were sold.
Gone.
So for them to do anything with any of the things that you think of when you think of this, they would have to relicense or reacquire the rights to do that. Now, that's not impossible. If they've got enough money to do it, they could. And they said that they want to do that. I'm just thinking maybe lower your expectations a lot. Stop thinking NBA Jam, Mortal Kombat. Start thinking maybe like Crash Test Dummies. Like some of the lower tier shit they did, maybe. You know, I do think with Double J there, if I could possibly throw something out there, he works for a wrestling company that likes to make video games. Could we see an arcade AEW game come? Could he work on an indie wrestling game? Could he be an avenue for them doing something in that realm? Absolutely. I could see that happening.
Bring back Legends of Wrestling, brother.
No.
I have Legends of Wrestling. Yeah, I like but yeah, I was surprised the amount of nostalgia is a heavy drug. I get that more than anybody, but the amount of optimism that came out from like just a headline. It's like Acclaim is back. It's like, no, they're not.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Somebody
They
bought
really
the
ain't.
name. That's all that it is the name. So reckless speculation.
What they think they'd be publishing, what they think they're gonna bring back. What are their classic games?
I don't even know what their original titles are. Because when I think Acclaim, I think nothing but licensed stuff.
It's all licensed stuff. It really is. Like,
I'm sure they have something.
I'm looking now.
What was that wolf game?
That's not a good. Smash TV. They have Smash TV.
Airwolf.
That's a TV show.
Is it? Okay.
Yes, it is.
I tried.
Yep.
That was the best I got.
Show. Yeah. Like I said, the only thing that I can think of that they made was Quarterback Club. But again, that's
Arch Rivals.
You need the NFL license. To do
Arch
that.
Rivals
That
is
shit
Midway. They didn't make Arch Rivals. Arch Rivals is Midway, and that's what led to NBA Jam.
Yeah.
They have.
Which they published.
Listen, Arch Rivals, a basket brawl. They published that on the other screens.
Yeah, they published it. But they didn't make that game. It was made by Midway. They published a lot of Midway games. NBA Jam, Mortal Kombat.
Was the WWE arcade game Midway, or did they make that one?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Let me see.
Because if somebody could maybe get a hold of that, I could see Jeff Jarrett talking to Tony Khan, trying to do something. Like, I could see them trying that.
So the WWF game that was made for the NES was made by Rare and then published by Acclaim. So they do more publishing than anything else. They're not really making stuff.
Yeah. So sorry to be your Debbie Downer, guys.
WWF the arcade game.
I don't think any of those things you're thinking are coming back because Jeff Jarrett decided he wanted to get into video games. If I had to bet, especially based on the market that we've seen video games in, I wouldn't be shocked if 2 or 3 years come by and this thing goes completely bankrupt and they never do anything with a game.
Yep.
I would bet more on that than them releasing a game like today.
That makes sense to me.
I'm not so sure we don't ever hear about them ever again. Like, I don't know.
To quote Smash TV, I'll buy that for $1.
For $1. Insider Gaming, who's had all the Far Cry reports for the last several years, reported this week that Extraction shooter, that spin-off game, that multiplayer Far Cry game that they were making, is currently being rebooted or reconsidered. And that all eyes and development are now focused on the single-player title, which they had a source say 2026 might be a bit of a rush. So I was thinking that Far Cry was for sure next year. Maybe not so much now. Yeah. So I'm not surprised.
I forgot that they were even making a multiplayer Extraction Far Cry.
I thought that one was coming sooner. I thought that was the first one that was going to release. And it shouldn't come as any surprise, as Ubisoft is essentially, like PlayStation, nuked many of their multiplayer live service options. This wasn't live service. This was going to be a game that they sold, but still based on multiplayer. Yeah. So, anyway. AMD's 9070 XT and its little brother launched this week to pretty high praise. Everybody seems to like that thing. I watched a bunch of reviews about it. If I had to surmise it, it seems like it's like almost like a 3080, but for $500.
No, it's more like the 4070.
Yeah, it's like in between those two. They're like the same. It has a bit more 4K to it than that, but not ray tracing. It was more or less how I took it.
Yeah, it's a fantastic mid-level card. It's a 1440p.
That's affordable and available
for $550. Yep,
and you can go buy it. Imagine that. What a crazy.
We'll see if you can go buy it. We have no idea what stock levels are because they're not available yet.
Okay.
We're assuming they'll be good because there's been like all the shots of them in the wild, but it's not available to purchase yet.
Okay. As I say, because I've been seeing reports that there were so many of them, and you could just walk in and get one and stuff. I was like, imagine that. Imagine company making good product, pricing it competitively, and putting it on a shelf you could buy it. What a fucking concept, video games.
I mean, that's always been AMD, though. They don't make bad products. Their products haven't been bad. They just haven't been as good as NVIDIA's, and you've always been able to walk in and buy an AMD card. And apparently they've been shipping these cards to manufacturers for the better part of 6 months. So when they do launch, they should be much more readily available. Yeah,
it seems like a nice bet, especially if you're looking to maybe upgrade from like the 20 series or something. You want to modernize, but you don't want to spend fucking $1,000, $1,500. This is a really nice option.
Yeah, 20 or 30 series, and you're looking at 1440p. Great buy.
Yeah, I was saying, if you're running one of those 1080 or 1440 rigs, like this is the one to get then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's nice. Tariffs threaten the video game landscape. So our infamous president added the tariffs to China and Mexico yesterday. And of course, we woke up to the IGN article based on a reckless speculation about what it means for video games. Which I don't mean to joke silly about it. I understand people look, nobody likes tariffs, so I'm not trying to defend it, but I'm also not trying to like freak everyone out until we actually see what it means. Right. You know, there's just constant fear mongering. Like this could mean this, and this could mean. It's like, how about you actually go ask your sources for these companies what it will mean? Instead of just seeing Matt Piscatella tweet on the matter and then building a whole story around that. I have a real problem with that.
Me too.
You know, analysts didn't. Matt Piscatella tweeted. Guess what? He tweets all the time. Some of it's not right. Like this is an issue. I'm gonna lob this at IGN. And the reason I do it's because they're like the leader when it comes to gaming journalism and popularity. You have sources. You interview these fucking people. You have podcasts with Phil. How about somebody pick up the phone and call somebody at Microsoft and go, hey, what does this mean for you guys? We're doing a story. How about you get somebody to go on a record and tell you about what this means? Yeah. Because this whole tariff equals digital future and like $200 video games nobody's putting any work on that story. And that bothers me as somebody who just likes to get to the root of things. That bothers me. And then seeing all the gamers lap it up, because I don't know what I talked about it in Discord a bit. I don't know what it is about gamers, but we are so sensitive to fear mongering and like panic.
I can tell you what it is. They don't fucking read. we see a headline and just speculate. Massive
maybe so.
Nobody wants to actually read into anything.
It blows my mind. And listen, tariffs are bad. And if those tariffs stick, then yeah, prices, they could go up. But there's lots of other options too that nobody's talking about. Just because you tariffs Mexico doesn't mean every game is going up to $90. That doesn't mean that. It could. It doesn't necessarily mean that. Right? Like, I just don't understand why the panic and the anxiety over something that we haven't seen yet. Because guess what? Last night, he said, we're doing the tariffs. Guess what happened today? His finance chief said, we're going to have some exceptions tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And then this afternoon, after the stock market plunged, old Don, who said we're okay with the short-term trouble, doesn't seem like he's so okay with it now. So, like, who knows in a week from now if those tariffs even exist? And yet, we've done is got everybody angry and scared and panicked and Cap tweeting about this. And it's like, that to me, and I don't use this often, I feel confident when I say this. You guys have not heard me call media and journalism and stuff clickbait a lot. To me, this is a perfect example of clickbait. They have a headline and a graphic that is meant to solicit a reaction that has very little weight in journalism behind it. There's no reporting here. Like, I read that article. There's nothing there. That article is Matt Piscatella says. The headline should be Matt Piscatella thinks tariffs bad. Like that's what the headline should be, but that's not what it is. They're like, he said it.
Even be
that's what's going to happen.
It shouldn't be an article because there's actually no journalism that's done that at all. It's just, we got to stop taking these tweets and turning them into.
Like, I don't get it. Like, you are the journalists. And all of their people that write these articles, they pride themselves on journalism. They call themselves that. It's like, then fucking go find the story. Go do
the work.
Sean says, I don't read, I listen to PSVG. Thank you. What I shared with our Discord members earlier, and again, nobody knows. This could mean more expensive stuff. So, like, that very well, they could be right. I'm just saying there are alternatives, right? They could raise the tariffs on those countries, and guess what? America buys more video games than every other country in the world. And we are the clear market leader. So, if you're Sony, you're Nintendo, do you raise prices of everything in America and risk your cash cow? Or do you subsidize that tariff by raising prices everywhere else? There are ways to smooth that out to make things happen. Nobody's saying those things. Everybody's just like, 20% more tomorrow. It's like, okay,
right.
Somebody show me the price increases before we start freaking out. So also they could
show me the order that actually even says that this is a thing. Besides,
they could move
tweeting it or putting it on Truth Social.
They could move manufacturing. A lot of our games are printed in Mexico. That's real.
Yes.
They could move that to Central America. They can move that to the Gulf. They can move it. They can move it inside the States. We've printed games before. That's not crazy. It didn't take a lot of skilled labor to print games. They could do that. Especially, I would think, somebody like Nintendo, who still sells a lot of printed games.
Yeah.
Like, for somebody like them, not Xbox, they're like, that's not worth it for them. But for somebody like Nintendo, they're not going to be like, let's not make physical games anymore. They sell a lot of physical games.
Yeah.
So they're going to print those games. People are like, what does it mean for the Switch 2? It's going to be $500. You don't know that. Nobody. The dollar is very strong against the yen. So instead of Nintendo upsetting the apple cart by making the Switch 2 $550, I could see them selling the Switch 2 at a loss because they know they'll make it up on the games.
1,000%.
And maybe they do more digital games. And maybe they raise the price of all their games. Like, there's more to the story.
The price of their games. So
there's more to the story than he said 15%, add 15% to everything.
Right.
That's not how that works.
It isn't today's internet, apparently.
And like, it's like he already rolled them back for the automakers.
Yep.
I'm not sure if you guys saw all the cars. He was like, never mind. Never mind.
Didn't realize that. We can't just shift manufacturing to the States like that. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry.
In his first term, he had exceptions for video games. I'm not going to be surprised if by April 2nd there's another one, because I think he knows that if Grand Theft Auto is $100 and PlayStation Pros are $700, people are going to be mad. Guess what? People that vote for him. So I don't know. I'm not trying to talk people off and tell them it's going to be okay. It might not be. We have no control in the matter. and nothing has happened yet. So I don't understand the anger and the panic that's setting in now. Like, let's see what happens first.
Let's take a more cautious approach to this. Let's everybody get off your high horse and let's see what actually happens.
For me, I think it's the against the grain part, the rebelliousness is that this is what he wants.
Mm-hmm.
He wants you to behave like this. Is why he does it. He wants you to be afraid. He wants you to be scared. He wants you to panic and make decisions and not focus on other things. It's by design.
Yep.
So how about we don't? We sit back, calls bluff.
Yep.
Light that candle. Do it. And I want Canada to turn the power off too. Like, let's do it.
Please.
We both know. I think we both know that's not happening.
Right.
They're not going to do that. Like, it's never going to get there. You know what this is? This is two people in the hallway about to fight, and all they're doing is like chest to chest.
Yeah, the chest.
You want to go
moving in circles and stuff.
You want to. That's all this is. So there'll be another deal, another conversation. They'll come to some conclusion. Like, he'll find a way out.
He's going to back down because that's what he does.
Yeah. So we'll see. But folks out there, don't freak out yet. Okay, it'll be okay. We're gonna be okay.
Plus, come on, we all know you got plenty of games to play. You're all right.
Well, there. You know what? To offer them, the people that are angry or scared, to offer them something. If this is true and they just raise the prices and everything, and let's say they don't move anything and they just up the price of everything, then the outcome will be more expensive physical games and probably less of them. We will see a shift to digital. That would just be easier. It won't be all things. I think first-party games and stuff, they're still going to ship on box because that's important, at least to Nintendo. But like the indie games that are getting runs and stuff, like that might go away. And I think people would be okay with it. I don't think people care a whole lot about that.
Yeah, and if you really have that much of a problem, wait for it to go on sale.
Yeah, import. People import games. I import the games from PlayAsia. Delvin does the same. You import from Europe. Like, there are other ways to do things.
We got options.
You do.
Just buy Super Nintendo.
There you go.
He's all about this. He's all about this. I got something for you,
time.
Delvin. I got something for you. One of our listeners wrote in a question, and I've got something for you. Okay. So once we get there. Call of Duty Leaker says the next Call of Duty, which is Modern Warfare 4, will not be on last gen, has a traditional UI and an engine overhaul. He says it's being developed on the next dev kits for the next Xbox console. He also says there will be no Warzone 3 if the new expansion doesn't retain players. Apparently people are quitting on Warzone. I don't know. I have no idea.
Who knows?
So, I put Rando Leaker. Some guy on Reddit was like, Gears of War is on the PlayStation back end. I have no idea who that person is. It was a person enough that like 10 blogs ran with it. So somebody knows who he is. I don't know who he is. But to give him some credibility, Jazz backed him up. He says that Gears of War 4 is apparently on the PlayStation back end. He says it's coming this summer. Did I just say Gears of War 4?
You did say 4.
That's wild. Why did I say that? Gears of War Trilogy, the Phoenix Collection, is whatever it's going to be called. It'll be the first 3 games. Yeah. Gears 1, 2, and 3. In some sort of collection is coming this summer and will feature no multiplayer.
Is that a big deal?
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah. Two Gears people has strong multiplayer.
But it's on PlayStation. I don't think anybody's going to give a shit.
So my thoughts on this are twofold. One, I mean, I answered this earlier. To me, it all depends on how good is this collection. What are we talking about here? Are we talking like full remakes? Every campaign? Are we talking like Nathan Drake collection, which is what I want it to be? If it's that, I could care less about the multiplayer. I think the whole idea of this product is to get it on PlayStation and switch ahead of E-Day. It's to catch people up to the story. So when they launch their next game, everybody's in. I think that's the idea here. If it's a ROM collection, if it's like the 360 games and they're all packaged together in a bundle, then having no multiplayer, or at least a horde mode, kind of hurts. Now, if it's about catching people up to the story ahead of E-Day, the point is very sound that they probably don't want to launch a multiplayer thing because they want you to buy E-Day and that be the multiplayer thing. They don't have 2 multiplayer things out there. So I think that's the gist here. I just don't know like how much development has gone into this. Is this like a big thing or is this not a big thing? Because they remastered Gears 1 for Xbox One. It came very early on Xbox One. And in my mind, I would equate it to more like T-Lu remastered on PS4. It's like that as a remaster more than a... I mean, it's significant upgrade. But by like modern remake standards, it still isn't... It's not like remake. Yeah. You know, it's not like RE4 remake or something. Like, are we talking about a full new... Is this UE5, Gears 1, 2, and 3? Because that's amazing. Mm-hmm. Or is this like an emulator? Is this like a Mario 3D All-Stars Gears thing? I'm going to buy it either way, but I think there's a scale here to what's okay and what's not okay.
Are you going to buy it? I mean, it's...
Yeah, no, 100% I'm buying it.
Going to buy it? Okay. For what?
I mean, ideally Switch, yeah. Ideally Switch.
Switch.
100%. 100%. Because I'll play it on PC, and then I hope they bring it to Switch. It may not be day and date, but I hope it's there, and I'd love to buy it and just have the cartridge in the box.
Did either of you guys play Gears multiplayer at all?
Yeah, I do. Not as much as other people, but I've always played it. I've always hopped in with Sean every now and again. I like to play Horde and stuff. But I'm by no means a multiplayer. I play for a couple weekends, you know, when the new game comes out, and that's it.
I don't even know what Gears multiplayer is, because when you say multiplayer, I think of the co-op stuff, like what we did, and then...
Oh, I mean, there was always co-op.
Together.
And I do believe, I didn't write it down, I do believe Jazz said that the campaigns will have co-op. So you can play with friends if you want.
So what the hell is the multiplayer?
Multiplayer, Gears multiplayer is big.
What is it?
Well, I've always played Horde, but there's multiple modes. Like capture the flag and stuff, deathmatch, I think.
Okay.
Sean, what are Gears 5's multiplayer modes? I've just always played Horde. Horde is usually what I play. Get into a team of friends, waves of zombies, you know, it's awesome.
Fun.
So,
yeah, PlayStation players probably
very competitive for the Gears multiplayer scene. You fucking get in there and get wrecked. So, anyway,
it's above my pay grade.
That's it for the news. Take it away, Dev.
Woohoo! Rude, you're slacking. There's no scoring update this week. I'm guessing that nothing has come out that we've put points to. So, yay. However, we do have a new over/under. So over/under 82.5 for South of Midnight. Compulsion's last game was We Happy Few, and it scored a 62. I'm in the lead, so I'll go first.
I just wanted to let you know, Gears 5 had Team Deathmatch, King of the Hill, and Escalation.
So same shit as like Call of Duty. It's just
yeah.
Okay. I had no idea because again I've never.
When the rumors for this thing came out, because we've been hearing about this mythical Phoenix collection for a couple years now.
Years.
My idea, because Gears 1 and 2 and 3 aren't on PC. Definitive Edition might be, but the other two aren't.
I've played Gears 1 on PC.
I think the Definitive Edition came to PC, but the other two aren't. So in my head, I was thinking more like Master Chief Collection. Like the idea is to get this legacy content on other systems to turn on the multiplayer and get people going. Now that I'm hearing this, it sounds like, no, this is to get people caught up for the next game, I think is maybe the idea. But we'll see. Yeah, Sean, we played Hive Busters as a trio. The guys liked it until the ending.
That was fun. Yeah, the ending pissed me off, but otherwise it was fun. It was really fun.
Hive Busters is great. I love my Hive Buster city.
It was just fun because it was fun playing with you guys and laughing at Delvin. That was my enjoyment.
Funny characters.
So yeah, over/under 82.5 for South of Midnight. Compulsion's last game, We Happy Few, scored a 62. I'm going with the under on this. Wow. I think that is going to be a solid 8 at 80.
Okay.
I think people are going to have issues with the combat. I think people are going to be bothered by like the stop motion. I think it's going to get knocked for that, and it's an Xbox game, so it's going to get an 8.
I was thinking like 79.
All of those things are valid, but objection! Absolutely not. I believe this game looks amazing. This is one of the few games that whenever it releases, I do think I'll stop to play. And I'm all in, so I'm rooting for it. So I will take the optimistic approach, and I'm going to say it's going to come in at an 84.
I love it. It's one of my most anticipated games, but
Same.
I know how the world treats me.
Correct.
It lets me down. So I'm like,
I've seen like some of the preview stuff, and I'm like, yeah, people are not gonna. This is not gonna score high.
I can see it.
I'm gonna like
here
it.
for it. I'm gonna like it, exactly.
I'm hoping that I come away from this being like, man, South of Midnight and Kenna were great. Yeah. You know, like I have this very like kind of Kenna placement on this game for me.
Oh yeah, I feel the same way. I think that's exactly what it's going to do. And I don't think Kenna set the world on fire. I think what it got like a 75, 76.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's egregious if it's in the 70s.
That wouldn't surprise me.
That's so sad. That can't be.
What can you get? It wouldn't shock me at all.
No, it wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. It
was on PlayStation. So then again, we get that PlayStation bump.
That's true. It's one of the few games that I think of when people are like, "What's your favorite game?" Like this generation, it's like one of the
81.
Like the one or two games that come immediately in mind. It's like, man, Kenna was a fucking game. What a great game that was. We need more Kennas in the world.
81 on Metacritic.
That's a shame. People are just wrong. I'm just old. You know, we're aging out of the gaming demo, man. Like we're just.
What do you mean aging out? We been aged out.
Yeah, y'all been aged out.
That shit stupid.
I'm catching up. Yeah. Just realizing you're smaller and smaller slice of that pie now. Mm-hmm. You know. It's like Fortnite's like 40%, right? And then Call of Duty's like 30%. Like other game, like we are like that sliver. That 1% sliver, that's where we exist. It's like you see this little line that looks like a border that color. That's you. Oh God.
And next up we have True or False. Assassin's Creed Shadows will outsell Valhalla in its first week. Valhalla is the best-selling Assassin's Creed in the franchise for its launch week at 1.7 million copies.
False.
Demonstrably false. Like
false.
Yeah, this is why'd you even do this? Like really? False. Absolutely not. Not happening. You see all the controversy already surrounding this game before it gets launched? Like
I haven't actually.
No way. Oh my God, it's so much. It's so much talk. I mean, it all starts with it's a lot of nonsense. People are mad because you can like attack and destroy the cities and the shrines. People are mad about Yasuke saying he's not a samurai. Like just all the dumb.
Why would you be upset you can destroy the cities?
Exactly.
Why is that a bad thing?
I have no idea, but people are upset about it.
Okay. You'd think after all like the hype with Tsushima and Neo and all that, you'd think that people would be really excited for something like this. People have wanted like Ninja Assassin's Creed forever. Literally forever. It's been like the top of everybody's wish list for like decade?
Yep.
You know, that's all they've ever wanted.
First.
That's true. Yeah, they're late now. They got beat to the punch.
There's just the internet is just foul.
If Tom Cruise was playing the assassin, then people would be hyped up for it.
The last room.
That's what happened. That's what's going on. A lot of that happening.
You're right. We got a black samurai and a female assassin.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
What's the girl's name? Is it like Nawe or whatever?
Nawe, yeah.
She's dope. Yeah. She's so fucking awesome.
I can't wait to play with her. I'm gonna murder the hell out of people, and I'll stream it because Ubisoft granted us.
I'm super excited to play it, but like again, that Valhalla, I want to be open and ready to like receive all of that. Yeah, and I'm just not right now, and I don't think I will be soon. Yeah. So it's like I'm gonna push that off until I have like a nice window, and it would be nice to know if it's coming to Switch 2 at some point because I may wait to play it there.
That's good. Yeah, good idea.
Instead of buying it, I may wait to play it there.
Ye old Switch 2, solver of all of Donnie's video game problems.
I don't think it's gonna be there, but I wouldn't be surprised. Ubisoft usually does
a good job of supporting.
They really do. I'm expecting that support's going to come in like a Far Cry port,
Triple
like
pack.
Mirage. That's kind of what Valhalla. Like I could see them porting something. But the funny thing about that is that's where my head is, but that's not what they ever do. No. They usually do bring like their latest games. Like that is something that they do a lot of. So that might be the case.
They're going to launch Ubisoft Plus on the Switch too. There's
going to be a Watch Dogs collection. They've got so much back path they could port games. Like if they can get ports gaming quickly, I mean, if I were them, I would bring everything over. because they just have games that Switch players have never played. They've got dozens of them. So
dozens,
and you could resell all that stuff.
Yep.
Start doing double packs and shit.
Why not?
Yeah.
Physical copies. Let's go.
Far Cry 5 and 6 bundle.
Get on. Yeah.
Why not?
With the digital code for Far Cry 3 and the rest of them. Let's go.
Yeah.
Ubisoft, get on it. Print you some money. Y'all got issues as it is. Y'all need that.
Yeah, so y'all need to raise some capital. Before y'all
get on that.
Bought out.
Save your company. Let's go. Let's go.
They'll redo Sparks of Hope, and then they'll do like Siege. You fucking idiots. They'll be like, all right, guys, we're here for Switch 2 with Skull and Bone. Like, get the fuck out of here.
You guys say you like boat combat. Here's Skull and Bones.
Yeah, I would like, obviously, I will buy the Far Cry games. I would probably repurchase Valhalla, and I would buy Motorfest on Switch. If there's no Forza. If Forza comes, then no. But if there's no Forza, I would get Motorfest. Motorfest was good.
There it is. All right. Question time. Metal Wolf writes in, says, hello, PSVG, long-time listener, first time submitting a question. Multiple questions at that. He says, my question is, what is the last video game that you played? And if you had to live in it, what are you doing?
Caught Pokemon.
What are you doing in your last game, Delvin?
That would be Yakuza, Pirate Yakuza. So I'll be dying.
Oh, that sounds about right.
Yeah,
he's drunk on the beach.
You want to get drunk on the beach
after some night at a strip club where he got robbed.
Pretty much.
That sounds about right. I'm in Pokemon Arceus world, and I'm living in giant fear as dragons breathe fire and people ice and shit. Like.
Yes.
People don't understand how scary Pokemon would be in real life. That is some scary shit. Fucking dragon flies by and blows everything to smithereens. Like, oh my God.
Terrifying.
You just get your ass whooped by some Pidgey. Wait a minute.
Yeah, I'm out here trying to liberate Yara with Danny. We're going around. We're wreaking havoc. I'm probably going to die.
That's also terrifying. Yeah, that's
let's go.
Not good.
Oh, yeah. It's absolutely terrifying. But you know what? Smoke them if you got them. Let's go. Basically.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because in the Yakuza world, every 5 blocks you walk, somebody's walking up, you want to fight. For no reason whatsoever. Just coming to beat the shit out of you. With all kind of swords and shit like that. That sounds horrible.
Sean's playing Call of Duty. That's unfortunate.
I'm sorry, Sean.
Yeah, good day.
Find you a rat hole and just get in there and wait it out or something.
I love a Call of Duty. You get shot like 9 times and the screen starts to get dark and you're like, that's not how any of this would work. Like Call of Duty should really do like a one-shot mode. You get shot once and it's just like, beep.
Yeah, that's called hardcore mode. That's the way I always played. I always played hardcore mode because it feels better. Like, if I shoot you first, you're gonna die. None of this. I hit you, but you had a different thing. No. Hardcore mode is where it's at. America, damn, Sean. Not yet. We're getting there. We're not there yet.
Our school system, yes.
Yeah. Not the whole country. Just for our children in school. He has another question. He says, over the years of listening to PSVG, you guys give good game recommendations. One of the recommendations was for Death's Door. I absolutely love that game now. My question is, could you recommend any other games that are like Death Door-ish? And happy birthday to Donnie. I can't remember what your birthday is, but I think we share one. Mine is March 9th, 1986. You are March 10th, if I remember correctly. So
that's got to be unfortunate to be a March 9th baby and live in the shadow of the glory that is Mario Day.
I was going to say.
That's a bummer.
He was born the day the greatest rapper of all time died. And I only know that because of the song. Notorious Big. He died March 9th.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
Death's Door, Cult of the Lamb? Death's Door is ish.
I think it's ish in the graphical style.
Mechanics.
Kinda.
I mean, like just
it's
combat.
It's a roguelike, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, there's no city building. Like that's the problem. Is like
if you're looking for,
there's a lot of things that like have elements of Death's Door, but there's nothing that like kind of puts those elements together like Death's Door.
Yeah, I've been waiting for something.
That's
like
the problem. Like Tunic comes to mind, but that ain't it. That's a Souls game, right? Oh God, what's the other one? Hollow Knight. That's a Metroidvania.
Really. It's Metroidvania. It's not quite the same.
Yeah, it's not the linear story based.
We're looking for a Link to the Past type game, and those they just don't. There's nothing like that right now.
No,
because Lord knows if there was, I'd play it.
Hyper Light Drifter.
I've
never played Hyper Light Drifter, so I can't say.
I think that's kind of like that.
I said, just go play Leisure Suit Larry. Same thing.
What?
Exactly.
Delvin is sleepy.
No, I said go play Leisure Suit Larry.
Yes, I know, and I said you're sleepy. You're at that age where you're just tired. You don't know what's happening. You don't know what's going on. You're just blurting out shit.
Same game.
Leisure Suit Larry, Death's Door, same stuff.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Larry, the Crow.
Listen, it's not like Death's Door, but Metal Wolf, if you haven't played Katana Zero, play that next.
Oh,
that's a good one.
Yes, that's a great game.
Katana Zero is incredible.
God, I love that game. It's so good.
I think our friendship was irrevocably changed when Mike and Jeff called it Death Snore. Like I lost so much respect. Like I can't take their opinions seriously anymore.
Neither one of them have been on this podcast
since.
Yeah,
it's like, well, we're done here, maybe, guys. Like it's been fun. Yeah. Nice to meet you, sir. Yeah.
You can't listen to anything you say.
I really can't. Like, God, how do you look at that game in those moments? There's still some very impactful moments, like memorable moments of that game. And then call it a snore. Like that's crazy talk. Crazy talk.
Insane. The music
I'll have none of it.
Is so good. Oh, God.
You know what that tells me? That tells me they played it for an hour, didn't get off that original mountain pass, and didn't see any of the bosses or any of the cutscenes or anything.
Yeah,
that's like that'd be my impression. Is like you didn't actually.
You didn't play
get into it. You didn't get into it.
Yeah, they played it. And just walked away.
The game's endings and boss fights are fucking awesome.
I wouldn't play Leisure Suit Larry.
And I love its little overworld. Yeah, Link to the Past. It's very, very good.
That's fucking my jam. God, I love that game.
Yeah.
Yarden, out of left field, says your top 3 Denzel movies.
Ooh.
Now this is different. There's 2 lists. There's the best Denzel movies and your favorite Denzel movies.
Nope. It's your top.
Yeah.
Your top.
Top 3. Your top 3. Whether it's what you think are the best or your favorite, whatever. Your top 3 Denzel movies.
Ricochet.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I love
That's not my top. That's a good one.
Power, take your punk ass to the tower. Ice-T. Great line. I knew that man was going to be in Law and Order just from that moment alone.
I've got mine.
Training Day.
Okay.
And
Can you name like 5?
I named 2.
Can you name 2? I said Ricochet and Training Day.
And American Gangster.
Okay.
I love Malcolm X, but that's
Frank
a movie
Lucas?
I can't watch again. I watched it. I enjoyed it. It's like with
Did you see the way Dev's eyes lit up? He hasn't been that happy in 4 years on this podcast.
Fucking love.
He heard Malcolm X and he was like, I love it. Like,
I fucking love that movie.
I almost forgot Book Eli.
Is number 1 for me.
Book Eli's awesome.
Is that your honorable mention?
I don't know about
Malcolm X is my honorable mention. Book of Eli.
I like Book of Eli, but
I love Book of Eli.
All right,
me too. I love it.
My 3 are, one of them is sentimental. I think it's like definitely my first Spike movie, but He Got Game.
That's a great one.
Fucking Ray. One of the best dad movies of all time, Crimson Tide.
Okay, that's a good one.
And Training Day.
Training Day is fantastic.
Training Day is excellent. Training Day is one of those perfect movies that you can always watch over and over and over again because that is Denzel in his fucking element.
Didn't know you like to get wet, Jake.
Jake? I'm surgical with this bitch, Jake. Like the one-liners alone. Yeah. Like he carries that. Oh, I mean, it's so good. All that jelly and no toast. You want to go home? You want to go to jail?
Yeah.
I do this all day. Yo, King Kong ain't got shit on me.
Great movie.
I put cases on all you mother.
Oh man.
Great movie.
It's not what you know.
It's what you can
prove. God, that movie's so damn good.
It's a great movie.
And Crimson Tide, I watched when I was like a preteen. And I think the 90s had like a nice, great run of like thrillers that I don't necessarily think we get a whole lot of movies like that anymore, but that is a tension-ass fucking movie. Like, the thrill is real in Crimson Tide. The first time you watch that movie, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
The acting on display is through the roof. Like, the whole movie is pretty incredible.
Yep.
So.
My 3, Malcolm X. Fucking love that movie. Just absolutely incredible. We watch it probably once a year. I love that movie. American Gangster. I mean, fucking Frank Lucas, man. That shit.
It's great.
So let me ask you, because I have a question about a Mafia movie fan. Is that your favorite? Is it just Denzel's performance, or do you like the movie that much?
I love the movie. I love his performance. I love everybody's performance in the movie. I just love the movie.
I think the movie drags a little for a Mafia flick.
I like it.
I saw it in theaters. I own it. Like I like it, but and I'm like, if I was like ranking like my top Mafia movies, it's, I don't know, probably like 7.
I don't even put it alongside the movie. It's just a drug kingpin movie. Like, I don't even think about that as Mafia.
I mean, that's half of Mafia movies are drug kingpin.
We don't associate with the Mafia, so it's not.
That's the whole point.
Movie for us.
It's kind of like how we look at New Jack City.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, the Mafia, like, you can, if you're splitting it based on like Italiano stuff, it's all just organized crime, and a lot of it has to do with drugs, prohibition, running women. It's all different. So, but the whole Frank Lucas thing and the family and everything, it's organized crime. It's Mafia shit.
Blue magic, baby. It's blue magic. But yeah, American Gangster. Fucking love that shit.
Yeah. Great Jay-Z album too.
Yeah, it is. It's a really good album. And then my last one, Equalizer 2. Just watching him whoop at, oh my God.
He's got a couple of those. He's got a few of those. It was Deja Vu, Man on Fire.
Man on Fire, and the Equalizer.
Man on Fire is pretty good. Yeah, that's good stuff.
I haven't watched the Equalizer trilogy yet. I didn't do that.
We didn't either. Like, this was one of those COVID movies. We were like, let's put it on. We never saw it. We watched all 3 of them. We're like, oh my God. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Isn't
okay,
like Queen Latifah like the Equalizer now?
That was the TV show, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
I never saw that, but yeah, man, I loved him in Equalizer. That shit was crazy.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, you should.
I like Ricochet a lot too.
Ricochet's good. I like it a lot.
Yeah, one's pretty fun.
Yeah, He Got Game is definitely my honorable mention. I love that movie.
It's my first Spike Lee movie, and it might be my first Denzel Washington movie. I think. I don't know if I saw that before.
Remember the Titans?
I think I saw that before Remember the Titans. Didn't Remember the Titans come out like several years later?
It probably did, but I'm younger than that, so I don't know.
I was thinking more like, I don't think I saw Ricochet until I was older. I don't think I saw Crimson Tide until later. Yeah, I think He Got Game was like one of the first like basketball movies that I watched, you know? And the fact that I love the story. And it's not like a profound or like, I don't think it's even an exceptionally well written movie. I do think it's an exceptionally shot movie. I do think that's like Spike in his bag. But I like its focus on, like it was all the rage right now at the NBA at the time. You had high schoolers. There was that constant back and forth. High schoolers trying to go straight to the pros, and the college is like saying you can't, and then you got to go to college for 1 year, and then no, you can't. Now you can go. You remember there was all this back and forth. And so like high schoolers trying to deal with agents and the money and making these decisions that are impacting their family for generations and stuff. I thought that was pretty telling stuff. And I think that was awesome to capture that in a movie like that at the time. And I think that element to it and Denzel's performance overshadowed how comically silly the premise of that movie is. That movie's premise is fucking stupid. But the performances and the real life application is so good. I don't think anybody even paid attention or cared to notice. So
I thought the premise was actually profound because that is a lot of what athletes deal with.
I mean, the plot of the movie, the warden wants you to go to They call the college Big State.
Big State. Why don't you go to Big
Fucking stupid, man. And they're like, we're going to let you out of jail so you can go get, like, that's a crazy premise. That's a crazy plot development. That's nuts.
Jesus.
But it's very like, oh God, what's that? Like Unnecessary Toughness. Like the Replacements. It's very like in vogue for like the sports movies.
So funny.
Well, I was gonna say Any Given Sunday, but that's not it. What's the jail football movie where they all go to jail and?
I know what you're talking about. I've never seen it though. So no, isn't The Rock in that one?
Well, that's the remake, The Longest Yard.
Yard.
And it's very like right there at home with all of that shit. Which was a very 90s thing to do, right? Yeah. But the thing is, I think Denzel was so good, and that story, that father-son story with that sports, that grounded the movie that I think everybody just accepted it and kept going, So, but I do like that. I like that movie a lot. I remember I got Jack to watch it. He was like, "That's Ray Allen." I was like, "Fuck yeah, it is!" Like that's nuts.
Yeah, Sean, you're way off. The whole 9 yards isn't even a sports movie.
Samsonite. I was way off.
Way off.
Karl Malone.
Stingray X says, I hope you're feeling better, Donnie. As for a question for the crew, what have been some of your favorite video game peripherals? And as always, take care.
This is your moment, Delvin. I've got options for you. You ready?
Okay, give me some options.
The best peripheral, and I've got a bunch. I wrote a list down because I love this. This is like some of my favorite shit to go into in video game. Video games is rife with some of the most weird and obscure and best stories about exactly this topic. Fucking weird accessories that somebody made for something. But since you're on your Super Nintendo kick, you must obtain a Super Game Boy. It might be the best peripheral ever.
Oh, I've had one of those.
Do you have the matching controller?
I didn't know they had a matching controller.
There is a controller that they built specifically for Super Game Boy in Japan. You got to get that too.
Let me look this up then.
Well, while you're at it, get you a Super Scope 6 too.
I was thinking about that as well. That's one of them. Then you got,
the Super Game Boy, I never had a Super Game Boy, but it's honestly, the Super Game Boy is the best because it was just compatible with everything. You could just play all the games and in color, which was wild. But I honestly look at it as a legacy for Nintendo. It's the Super Game Boy, it's the transfer pack, it's the GBA player, it's the Switch before the Switch. Like the Wii U wasn't shocking to anybody that's been around a long time, and then the Switch isn't because they've been trying to do this for some time, and the technology just wasn't there. They didn't find the right mix, right? But the Super Game Boy comes immediately to mind. The other thing about peripherals is the best peripherals are the ones we use all the time and never think about them. Component cables, controllers, that stuff, right? We use them all the time. Memory cards. They're not notable. The ones that I remember are notable are almost all failures because they're weird and they're quirky and they usually all fail. But some of the more successful ones, I think of like the Guitar Hero controllers, of course. I think those are the Zapper. Yeah, those are excellent. The fun ones that I'd like to bring up just to share with everybody. For Switch, the Switch has the Joy-Cons that pop up.
Yes.
Somebody made a keyboard that you can clip the Joy-Cons to so you could type on the Switch without having to use. So you literally think about it. There's like somebody has a fucking keyboard between the Joy-Cons. So it's like this fucking wide. You snap the Joy-Cons on the side of the keyboard. You can sit the keyboard down and type. Right? This is the fun shit that I love. I love watching YouTube videos and shit about this dumb shit. There are several portable handhelds that got TV tuners.
Yep.
The Game Gear had one. The PSP had one. You can walk around and try to get television over the air. Fucking antenna for your shit. At some point, somebody's going to ask us about that top USB slot for Switch 2 again. And that's what I'm going to go with. I want a portable I want a digital TV tuner that I can put on the Switch and watch television on it. I want DirecTV with TiVo, motherfuckers. The Pocket Station.
Yeah.
Your little PlayStation Gigapet VMU thing that they were trying to rock with. The Wu-Tang controller. You guys ever seen that wild looking damn thing? And my favorite one lately, as I've watched the retrospective, Did You Know Gaming just did a great video on it, and I've been just trying to check on the stuff lately, is the Satellaview. Was kind of the Satellaview was an add-on that was sold in Japan for the Super Nintendo, and it would think of it as like a dock, and you would put your Super Nintendo in it, and it was pretty, for its time, pretty fucking amazing actually. So go back in time. You're in the 90s. Nintendo's making cartridges. PlayStation's making discs. Everybody's leaving. Discs are so much cheaper, right? Nintendo's trying to figure out, how do we create a new delivery service without licensing PlayStation's software, right? We don't want to be beholden to PlayStation. So they find this, like, I forget who they're called, this satellite radio company. Like, there was a satellite radio company in Japan in the early 90s that were like broadcasting like music. like you could go in and listen to music, and it was weird. Like, they would change the music based on like the weather, the time of day, and it was just like you would subscribe and you have this music. And Nintendo was like, they bought a stake in the company, and they were like, what if we could transmit games the same way? It's very much like what we do today, like digital downloads and shit. So they made this thing, the Satellaview, and you put in the thing down and you have a cartridge, and it's the best thing that I could describe it to is like television. That was kind of the reason why I think it didn't work, but for the time I understand why. Essentially they had like a schedule, like a TV guide. So like from 7 to 8, we're going to have the Zelda game. And then from 9 to 10, we have the Mario game. And they would play these games, and like every week it was like episodic. Every week you would get like Zelda Part 1, the next week you get Zelda Part 2, the next week you get Zelda Part 3. So people that had the Satellaview, they would buy the thing. You didn't have to subscribe to it. If you just bought it, you got all the games and everything for free. So you'd buy the thing and you'd be there at the time. It would transmit the game to right to your cartridge, and then you could play it. And it had like an online hub, like a town, and there were other things you could like watch. You could read like magazines and share pictures. There were like community posts. They had community leaderboards. They gave away prizes. Wow. And they just did this thing for like 2 years, and it was a commercial flop. Like only like 100,000 people had it. They thought they were going to sell millions of it. Like it wasn't ready yet. Like they were kind of decades ahead of time. But what they did and what they pulled off was pretty cool. And there's like a bunch of like very unknown, obscure games that Nintendo made. So there's like, they had like Mii's. They had like avatars that you would create on Super Nintendo. They're like Mii's of today. And you could play like Zelda as your Mii. So instead of being Link, it's just you. Or you could be in the Mario game. Oh, so like you would have an avatar you could take into the, and they remixed all these games. There's like sequels to Link to the Past, and like a whole new Mario game that nobody's ever played because they were Satellaview games and they never released. So like the only footage of them are like people that recorded the footage on their TV and have like videos and shit of it. Wow. But it's very interesting stuff. I highly recommend people go look it up. But like it's, when you sit back and you look at what gaming is today, and then you see that they were more or less very, for its time, but doing that same thing, it's like kind of nuts. It's like that is crazy. Yeah. So yeah. I really like that one. But I love this weird shit. It's like, this is kind of my jam.
For me, I had one called the X-Band for Super Nintendo. It was the first video game modem for consoles. It allowed you to actually play online against other people in video games. Mm-hmm. There was a subscription that actually you had to come with it. You also had to have internet. And this is in like 92, 93. So not everybody had an AOL subscription. Not everybody had that. But I saw this and I was like, oh my God, this would be so awesome to be able to play NBA Jam against people online. So I ended up ordering an X-Band for like $50 and then got it, but was never able to actually get my mom to sign up for the service to allow me to actually play online against other people. But look it up. It's called X-Band. It was on Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, and it was like the first modem. And apparently it still works.
Nice. I forgot. I was telling Delvin over the weekend. Have you ever heard the Satellaview had a pretty awesome but definitely racist game that they made? Have you ever heard of the game called Mighty Pockets? Mm-mm. Mighty Pockets was this Satellaview game that they made. I'm going to read you the soundtrack. This is the soundtrack of this game.
Oh, Lord.
Coolio, 1, 2, 3, 4. DJ Jazzy Jeff, Boom Shake the Rim. Jungle Brothers, Cash Money and Marvelous, Public Enemy, The Bucketheads, Prince Marky D, Skilo, Gangstar, Soul For Real, MC Hammer, SL Troopers, Brandy, Michael Jackson, Salt and Peppa, Casey and the Sunshine Band, Havoc, and Protege. They made this game.
Soundtrack.
It's a great soundtrack. They made this game. So think of the game is Clue. So it looks like the board game. It basically plays like Clue. All of the characters are like these animal-looking caricatures, and the white-looking caricature lady has her belongings stolen, like her purse stolen, and you have to solve the crime by going around playing Clue and interviewing all of these urban rapper-looking characters while listening to Coolio and Protege. I was like, I was like, this is some racist shit. I kind of wish we could play this. Like, I kind of want to play it. Yeah. Just for the jams, but yeah.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Just based on Japan consuming our media, they think that is what happens.
1,000%.
So it doesn't shock me in the least. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4.
We answered a question last week. What was our favorite use of licensed music in a game? Like, I should have said Mighty Pockets.
We forgot one of the most important, wildest apparels, the Power Glove.
I never had one.
No one ever had one.
Nobody had one. They were so rare, and they didn't work.
I don't think I've ever seen a real one. I don't think I've seen one.
I have seen one. I had a friend who actually got one. This was way later down the line, but yeah, it's just more. That shit never worked.
I seen one in like a game store. Like, I should get that one day.
I'm surprised you don't have one.
Yeah, I kind of am surprised you don't have one. I figured you'd have one just for like cosplay or something.
Yeah, you got to get one and put it in like the glass case and just have it up kind of like a Terminator hand.
Oh, I was thinking like Michael Jackson glove.
That works.
No, like I think Delvin would have one to like take, like his profile photos would be him in a power glove. Like, it's very fitting. I think I could see that.
Good idea.
Yeah.
Power glove.
Yeah, I think I'd have found out about the power glove in Freddy Krueger. It's like how I discovered the power glove.
That was part 3, right?
I don't remember. I don't think so. I thought it was like 5.
You might be right.
Yeah, I don't think it's Dream Warriors. I think it maybe 4 may have been the sequel to Dream Warriors.
I had no idea that was in a. I mean, I found out.
He killed somebody with a power glove.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I saw I didn't see the wizard when I was a kid. I saw the wizard later, like when I got into gaming culture.
Yeah.
I was trying to get the wizard to like watch with Jack. I wonder if he'd like it. I doubt it.
I don't think it's.
Yeah, it's not a great movie.
I disagree. I think it's a great movie, but have him watch Ready Player One instead. That's more.
Yeah, no, we've watched that. It's good.
Yeah, that's a great movie.
California.
This X-Band is great. I love this shit that we used to do. Again, the Frankensteining of consoles, the shit that we used to do, the things we would connect on top, and that would connect to that, and all the shit we used to add on. It's janky as fuck, but I kind of love it. Like, I miss it. Like, I wish all of our stuff now is so samey and the same and refined. It's like, I wish somebody would fuck around a little bit.
They do. Nintendo. It's like the Labo and all the other weird.
That's true. I do like that when they do that. That's true, but it's not the same. Nobody's making cartridges you can stick cartridges and shit into.
Janky. And
Labo was pretty great, actually. They had so many consoles. You would take your console and dock it in another thing. Right. So many weird attachments, man. That was awesome.
Sega CD.
Game Shark.
The Sega Tower of Power.
Yes. I miss it. It's a cool time. and inventive, right? I think the technology was so primitive. It was very inventive. Like, oh, we'll just throw a board in a cartridge and stick that thing in there. And we'll stick other things into it.
Yep.
Can't do that with CDs.
No. If you even have a CD player at this point. Moving along. John 32 says, what do you think the gaming discourse is at the end of 2025, following the addition of classic Xbox titles to PS5? Does it normalize in less than 10 months? Is there still the same type of speculation on Xbox hardware? Do we see a lull from Sony in terms of competitive hype, similar to the sell-off of WCW in wrestling? You had to hide in the wrestling for you too.
I gotta tell you.
WCW sell-off didn't lead to a lull. If anything, that led to a moment. That whole WWE invasion and when the NWO and everything, that was a thing.
I don't know. I wasn't there.
It depends on if Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out this year.
Yeah.
Because if it does, no one gives a fuck about this.
I don't think anybody gives a fuck about it now.
Yeah.
I'm not even lying to you. Like, the people that care about it, the people that are going angry about Xbox, and people have said all the things like me, we're so much the minority that nobody notices.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter. I mean, and ultimately, that's just where Xbox is. That's their market right now. For every angry Xbox fan, there's 20 PlayStation fans that are happy with everything that's going on. So,
yep.
You're throwing a rock at a wave at that point. I don't think anybody cares.
Okay. I think you'll still see the same discourse from the same upset people, but in the long term, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't track. Really, it doesn't gain any traction. The ripple doesn't leave the pond.
Nope.
So no change is going to happen. I also don't think we're going to wait for like some day that there's like some big proclamation or declaration. It's just a new normal. We all adjust to it, and then that'll just be how it is. And I think we've already done that. I think you saw that with Forza. One thing we can talk about Forza is only digital. So Forza's coming PlayStation, but you're not getting. Nobody's getting a disc. You can only buy it on the store. I hope that's not something of more to come. I hope that's not the case, but it might be.
I wouldn't shock me. I bet you.
Knowing with Xbox,
they're like, why print more discs?
100%.
PlayStation players buy stuff digital. They're not complaining. So here you go. Sea of Thieves did just fine digitally. Forza is up there like the top stuff right now. I'm pretty sure they're like, why bother printing discs?
I think it's easy because Xbox has just reassumed the role that Activision was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they'll keep calling them Xbox, but they're just doing the Activision thing now, so it's easy to accept.
Yeah.
1000%.
Yeah.
Sorry, John, we don't have a more profound answer, but
yeah, I think gaming discourse for the end of 2025, just outside of the Xbox thing, I do think a lot of it rides on Grand Theft Auto, and I think a lot of it rides on the Switch 2.
Yeah.
If the Switch 2 has a couple awesome hits out of the gate that we don't know about, and Grand Theft Auto drops, then this would be a very optimistic and exciting year for a lot of people. And then if it doesn't, and we get more layoffs and more live service and more closures, then it could continue being more depressing. We will see.
Yep. TPR wants to know, what's your favorite gaming art style?
I like when games look like cartoons. Well, that too.
You like cell shaded?
Cell shaded when it looks like when the Dragon Ball games will look like the Dragon Ball TV show, and in some cases better. I love that.
Kakarot is gorgeous.
Yes.
And it's like the thing about Kakarot and its art style is that it's gorgeous on everything. It doesn't matter what you're running it on. Like, it's gorgeous on Switch. It's gorgeous on being like, every time I play that game, I'm like, why isn't everybody making games just like this? Like, how is this so infinitely scalable? It's a big open world. You fly around. It's got a bunch of animations and stuff. And for whatever reason, it runs and looks amazing on Switch and phones just as well as it does on Xbox Series X and PC. Shit doesn't make any sense to me.
That's how I feel about the Naruto games as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, this
good point.
Looks like the goddamn show. This is great. I love it.
I don't know that I have a. That's a good game. Yeah, my son loves that game. I don't know that I have a favorite art style because it really all just depends on the game. Like, I can't say that I definitively like any art style over another because it's all game dependent and does it fit with the world. So I like them all. I don't think there's anyone that I dislike.
Fun answer, Dev.
Yeah. I got nothing. I got nothing. Like it doesn't.
Dev,
I would like to say I'm the same way. I mean, because I do.
Stayed here, Dev, ignoring my sick daughter to hear that goddamn answer.
It was very politician
you want me to
of
feel
him.
bad for you? Want me to feel sorry for you? Because I
it was
know.
a very, very politician of him. Like, Senator Dev has weighed in. I think everybody brings a lot to the table. I think there's pros and weaknesses across the board, and I just think the conversation that we're having is the most important part.
Absolutely.
I want to agree with you, Dev, because I like a lot of games across a bunch of different art styles, but I would be lying to myself if I would say I'm very much attracted to color.
Yes,
so
yes, you
the
are.
more
Good
colorful
God.
a game is, the more
both of us are right here.
Right. That's good. Yeah, the more colorful a game is, like on first impression, generally, I think maybe perhaps the more interested I am.
I like that too.
And I do love like parallax effects. I like kaleidoscope shit. I like, but it is across all different kind of art styles. I like pencil drawn stuff. I like cell drawn stuff. I like when things look comic-y. I like Beautiful Joe. I like Smash Bros. But I also like Wind Waker, and I like Sayonara Wild Hearts and Gree and Neva. And those are all different styles, but all sampling lots of colors, lots of contrast, an artistic type of look. I think is more my style, but I also love a gritty, edgy Gears, Mad World, a Warhammer. I'm into that stuff just as much.
I like those too, but
Yeah.
When it comes to that art style, I feel like the hyper realism at some point it becomes like Uncanny Valley. Like it looks good, it looks great, but it looks a little off.
That's all video games.
I don't feel like that with cartoons.
I like games that generally have like a whimsy and a charm, and I want to feel happy, and like I like that. Like doing the Valhalla or the Uncharted or the Last of Us thing a lot kind of weighs on me. Like I can't do that every day. It's too much. So I loved Okami on the Wii, Captain Awesome. I did. I played Okami on the Wii, which I know Kamiya said not to do. I'm not sure if you guys caught that headline. He was like, nobody play this. Yeah, it was funny. Because to me, Okami is a Wii game. That's where I discovered it and that's how I played it. I also think with motion controls, it makes that game make a whole lot of sense. But apparently the creator, hates that. So yeah, I liked Okami. I did not like it as much when they brought the Switch port, though. Because I don't know. I mean, maybe this is a minority take or a hot take, but I think Okami's better with motion controls. Like doing those things on sticks and stuff, I don't like doing as much.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Reminds me of like the Wonderful 101. They're like, oh, you could just do the stick and draw. I'm like, but why? Like, just give me a Wiimote. Like this isn't as fun to do, I guess. And I don't always feel that way. A lot of games have motion controls that I don't like, but then sometimes games feel like they were built for motion controls. And that whole gesture type commands, it feels like it was built for motion controls. To me, I guess anyway.
You might be right. You give me a game of motion controls and I'm turning that shit off.
Yeah, but if a game tells you, have you played Okami?
Hell no.
Okay, so Okami has you drawing a lot of gestures with like sticks.
Yeah, I know.
So you're drawing lines, drawing circles, doing square. Mm-hmm. Doing that on sticks is an annoyance to me. Like I don't want to do this like this, but you give me a Wii remote and I'm pointing like that is the UI. That makes sense to me. It's like having a mouse. Like I get it. And it's not that I can't do it on stick. I can. It's just, but why? It's like when I'm holding sticks and buttons, it's like just something about if you're going to gesture, then let me gesture, and suddenly that makes sense.
Yeah, I hate it all. Like turning my controller sideways for fucking Second Son.
Dude, facts. Like that was like, who came up with that idea? Like, don't do this.
I don't want you to just throw in the gimmick because the controller can do that. Please don't do that.
Look what we
Yeah, they already had the motion with the controller anyway. Just let me do that.
Yeah, I can't.
But no, you got to shake it so we can rattle the controller and turn it aside. Like, that was so dumb.
Same
so
with
dumb.
Uncharted. I don't want to have to balance with the controller to walk across the log. Like, don't.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
Stop that. No, thank you, friend.
Motion controls was the whole time. There were good examples and there were bad examples, but it was a whole
only ever
era.
Had the bad examples because I did not have a Wii.
I was gonna say, you only had the bad examples because you had a PlayStation.
Mm-hmm.
Poor PlayStation with the Move and the.
So
Bex dropped the iToy on us the other day. Talk about peripherals. She was like, the PlayStation iToy. I was like, what? She was like, everybody loved it. I was like, did they?
No,
I don't think they did.
In your age demographic,
right? Maybe you and your middle school friends like that. I'm pretty sure it was a colossal flop, though.
Yeah.
It's up there. It's not quite U-Draw territory, but it's not that far away from U-Draw territory.
It might be a little closer than you think.
Yeah, the iToy, that was a thing.
Yeah.
But it just if anybody else listens out there, just know Rebecca, staunch defender of the PlayStation Eye. Apparently,
I'll put it this way: I never had the iToy. Never even thought about buying the iToy. So that tells you how much it failed.
I think I had it. I think I bought it for one of their motion games.
Now, are we talking about the iToy or the I? Because there's two different ones. You had the iToy.
I think she dropped the iToy.
Okay, that was PS2. PS3 had the I with all their motion stuff, so that was like the step up when they tried to get you with the gun. And
that's what I had.
Resistance 3 and
they were playing SOCOM and shit with the I.
Mm-hmm.
I think I did get that one.
Yeah. Yep. I had a whole setup for that at Best Buy when I was running gaming. We had the whole gun, Resistance 3. People would come over and play that shit. Yeah, that was the I, not the iToy.
I miss fun peripherals. We need more weird peripherals from these companies.
Yeah. More gun peripherals.
They should give us one every year. Yeah,
Nintendo can do that. That's Nintendo's job. That's kind of what they're here for.
They didn't give us enough of them. We had a few, but not enough. Like we had Labo. That was a thing for a year. But we need more than that. Well, you know what? We had the fitness thing.
The fit ring thing, yeah.
Yeah, and that sold gangbusters. We did get the ring fit. Yeah, that's a pretty good one, I guess. I give them credit for that one.
The box.
They get the leg strap.
Yeah.
Remember the leg? You put the leg strap on and run. You play Wii Sports.
The Wii balance board.
Oh, and we got I have them. Yeah. We got the Mario Kart Live.
Yeah, that thing.
That's a wild fucking experiment they did. Like, I feel like everybody just forgot about that real quick. Like, yeah, we had remote controlled RC cars, like on Switch.
I almost bought that.
I've got 2 of them.
I'm surprised you didn't, Delvin. Sounds right up your alley.
They're pretty fun.
Fun house that you have going on there.
I wish they were faster, but they're pretty fun.
All right. Final question of the night comes from Captain Awesome. This is a Rob 3000 special right here. It says,
I tagged him in the Discord.
On your home barbecues. I'm hosting one Saturday. I really want to do this right. It's my girlfriend's sister is coming. I don't have any answers. I just show up to barbecues at my house. I don't do any of this.
My brother does the barbecuing.
My wife does all the cooking. I just do all the cleaning and setup. As it.
Now, all right. So I did tag Rob because I was like, this is the question. Like, this is. So I doubt anything I'm going to say is going to be better than whatever he's already told you. But if you're still listening, Captain Awesome, here's what I got. Look up reverse sear on, like, especially if you're making like steaks. Like, look that up. Figure out how to do that on a smoker or a grill, and it'll change your life. I absolutely love it. I made 2 steaks on Monday and or Sunday afternoon. I made 2 steaks and I nailed it. They were perfect. Like my whole family, like my wife, my daughter got a piece. She was like, "Oh my God, like perfect steak." And what I've been doing is the reverse sear for a long time. So you like, I have a grill that's called the Old Smoky. And it's basically like a wash bucket. It's an old metal bucket. I love it. And I put charcoal in it, and then I put smoke pellets on the charcoal. And what you do is you cook the steaks off heat low for a long time, right? Like an hour or two. Like you let them slowly cook. Get all that smoke flavor and everything in it. And then right when they're almost done, you turn the grill up and then you sear and you get that outside crust that you want. This stops you from burning the outside of the steak before you cook the inside and also traps in all that flavor. Also, if you're doing steaks, Captain Awesome, make sure you salt your steaks. Bring them to room temperature way ahead, like 12 hours early. Get them in the fridge and then salt those things. Like I salted mine like 4 or 5 hours before you cook them. You want them to salt. You want them to pull the moisture out and then to sweat and put the moisture back in. The reason you do that is it will take that salt and distribute it through the steak. And that's the difference between you eating steak at like a restaurant and then you just cooking steak on the grill or like in the pan. Like if you're like, why does my steak taste like, because they salt their steaks. So they have that flavor throughout the steak versus just on the outside. Those would be my tips. But I'm by no means a grill maestro or anything like that. I have a cheap ass grill. The reason I like the Old Smokies, it's cheap. You buy it for $40. So I'm a charcoal, like old ass, grill guy. I don't have giant smokers or anything like that. That's Rob's basically running a catering business for his family every Friday night. He's out here with damn backyard patio and he's got $10,000 grills and shit. Man's living the good life.
The last thing I would have thought of when I heard barbecue was steak.
Oh, really?
He's right. I know Deb was probably thinking of ribs and shit like that.
Yeah.
Well, ribs smoking the same thing. You do ribs, pork chops. Yeah.
Again, I don't do that. We don't do that here. My wife is doing any and all of the cooking when it comes to that. I am the setup and tear down. I do not like cooking.
I cook, but I don't really barbecue that much. My brother does the barbecuing. My stepdad does the barbecuing, so I never really have to. And even when I was married a long time ago, my brother.
I just had steak on the mind because I just made it, and it's generally what I like to grill. But yeah, you can do. I've done the most I've ever done. I did a whole pork shoulder once, like the whole damn giant slab and everything. Cooked the whole thing, smoked it all day. Had the water going, had the apple juice going. It was good too. Kids liked it and cheap. Bought one for like $14. Shit was like fucking like 8 pounds of meat. It's crazy.
Great.
But yeah, you do pork chops, hamburgers, hot dogs, all that jazz.
I want some pulled pork. That's what I really want.
You really into the pulled pork thing?
Love pulled pork. Pulled pork.
I like it, but I don't love it. I don't remember what you said, but whatever you said in the Discord that day was egregious.
I was talking about how I don't really give a shit about steak.
It wasn't just the steak affair though. Remember, Delvin? It was the steak
and stuff,
but it was like it was steak everything. It was like I don't want ribs. I don't want steak. I just want pulled pork. I was like, that's not the answer. That is objectively not the answer.
It's my answer, so it is the answer.
It's not the answer.
I don't have to
crazy talk, Delvin.
Keep your steak.
But yeah.
Crazy talk, man.
I want ribs.
Nobody chooses that over any better chicken. Food.
I'm not choosing steak. Just not doing it.
The smoking goes the same thing. Like I love smoking wings. Smoked wings are something else. That's just good eating right there. Also, I don't do drumsticks anymore. I don't like doing drumsticks, but I do chicken thighs. Smoked thighs are good too.
Yeah.
Can it go in the air fryer? Because that's the only way I'm making it. Hell with this smoke shit. Fuck all that.
That works.
Toss that shit in the air fryer, baby. Let's go.
I like cooking, and do more of it now.
Eating.
I do like eating, and it's true. But I will raise you one. I'll raise you one.
Bowl of cereal.
I like eating good though. I started cooking after a while. I was like, "Don't worry about it, Melissa. I got it. Mm-hmm. I got it. I'll cook dinner."
Yeah,
she's a fine cook, but not a particularly good one.
My wife is a really good cook, and I'm pretty spoiled by that. But I also I will come home and have a bowl of cereal and be totally fine. Give me cereal, and I'm always happy. Again, this is the same me. I am just 15-year-old me, it's 43. I will eat a bowl of cereal and be very happy and go about
I
my
like a bowl of
business.
cereal, but I'm not eating over steak. I'm not not over dinner.
I would. Absolutely would. But I don't really care for steak.
Well, you don't put ketchup on it, do you?
Hell no. If it's good, you don't put anything on it.
Yeah, that's how mine were. I mean, I've done some really good ones, but this past week I outdid myself. Like they were perfect. I was like, oh, this is killer. I was upset when I ate it that I didn't have more to eat. Like, damn, it's all gone.
Yeah. I think my wife made salmon tonight.
Ooh. I've never made salmon, but I do enjoy good salmon.
Salmon's good. I
don't like fish, really, at all. That's like the one that people get me with. A good salmon steak?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of salmon, of fish either. It's shrimp or it's salmon. That's about the extent of it.
Yeah, I don't really do seafood. I like I will eat a shrimp, but I will not eat shrimp as like a meal. Like if there's like a shrimp or it's mixed in or something, like I'll eat it, but not just shrimp.
Shrimp and grits.
Oh,
Lord have mercy.
What? My mother-in-law makes salmon from time to time. It's one of my favorite dishes that she makes. So
okay, all right. Can't believe you just threw up shrimp and grits though. That's blasphemous.
Oh, I can't grits. Gross.
What? You
like
just lost your black card.
It's like eating shit off the damn. It's like you're in the Matrix.
Away your black
like
card.
You're in the Matrix eating that shit out of the bowl. Like, ugh. Can't
Delvin,
do it.
Get your boy. Get your boy, Delvin.
Hey,
I love grits.
I may have been moved to Georgia, but I'm not from here. So.
But not everybody can cook grits. I'll say.
I'm in California, so it has nothing to do with Georgia.
I mean, grits is a southern thing, so it does.
Sure. Again,
I didn't know what a grit was until I got here, and I was like, "Oh, y'all eat this?
Nice buttery grits, are really good."
Oh yeah.
I can't.
I gotta find some place that has shrimp and grits out here because I have been craving that for a minute now. Fucking delicious.
I had chicken waffles today.
That's nice. I haven't had chicken and waffles in a while.
We did a little eclectic breakfast spot. We took the new hire to today. That's what we got.
Food in Bakersfield sucks. That's basically what it boils down.
I mean,
we do
dude, by your standards, Bakersfield sucks.
It does. When it comes to food,
why? Like you need to leave. Like
no,
that's all I've heard you for 8 years is bitch about how terrible Bakersfield is. Like,
it's not great.
Get the hell out of there. Save yourself, Dev.
There's nowhere to go.
Run, Dev.
Nowhere to go that I can afford. It's
Death Valley.
Fine.
Like you just go in that direction.
It's fine. It's just when you come from LA, a lot of places are gonna suck in comparison.
I guess that's true.
Especially food wise. Like you got everything in LA. Like good everything.
Yeah.
Out here, everything's a fucking steakhouse. Like, and not the good kind.
Oh, I was gonna say that sounds ideal.
Not the good kind.
Oh.
It's just it's asinine.
Oh.
Anyways.
Hang on. I got two more. Sorry, and I'm not trying to keep the show longer. You just jog my memory. Yeah. Two things. Or actually it's the same thing. Florida Man. There is a show on HBO called Florida Man.
I heard about that show. I haven't
watched it. It's like a drunk history thing where they retell these Florida Man stories and they act them out with comedians and stuff. It's very funny. One of the episodes is about that fucking mermaid bar you talked about, and they go into the mermaid bar, and there's the drama between these mermaids and how the one got the other one fired, but was a witch and then bought the house next door, and it was all kinds of drama. And I was like, I've got to tell Delvin, because my wife and we've been watching the Florida Man story.
Okay, so I need to watch that episode.
There's this one episode about this meth head that loses his arm to an alligator. That's all the Florida Man you could ever want in one episode. It's hilarious.
I need to watch it. That sounds interesting.
He's got the teeth, the mouth, the no arm, the whole thing. The whole thing. Talks about how the swamp calls to him. How he wants to get back out there. Like it's the full Monty Florida Man experience in one episode.
Wow.
Yeah.
The swamp calls to me.
I saw the mermaids and I was like, I didn't even tie the two together. I would tell my wife, I was like, yeah, our buddy did the mermaid thing. And then I was like, oh, it's the bar in Fort Lauderdale. I was like, that's it. Was it the wreck or whatever?
That is correct.
I was like, that's the same shit he was talking about.
Yeah, Rec Bar.
Which I didn't realize when you told me, but there's oh god, I forgot the name of the show. There's a TV show that I used to really like that came out for a couple years and then it got canceled. But they filmed some of their episodes there at that bar.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of the TV show, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I bought it on Prime, but I haven't watched it in a couple years, so I forgot the name of it. But I really liked that show. It was good. It was like Mad Men, kind of.
Oh, Mad Men's a good show.
Yeah.
Gonna have
all
to
right,
run
sorry, I
that
didn't
back.
keep the show longer, but I had to tell the Florida man.
It's all good. I mean, we just heard about a meth head who got his arm ripped off and still getting called to the.
It's worth it. It's worth it. Like it's worth checking out. It's fun.
Oh boy. Well, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, stay out the swamp. Keep your teeth. Don't get bit by an alligator. And please, play some video games.
Nobody sleeping in the middle of the bed. The middle of the bed is only where you do the business. But when everybody's ready to sleep, it's the side of the bed that can't be beat. It's the middle of the bed where lovers meet. But when it comes time to slumber, it's the edges. Ooh, 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 the edges.